right now. Alrighty, everyone. Welcome to the 35th episode of Coaster Time, hosted by me, Carrick from Coaster Hour. And today we will be doing a bunch of different segments, as always, including news, Guess the Coaster, Buy or Sell, Q&A, and more, where we're going to have a really good episode today. For this episode, we have a special guest who is none other than Zach from Themeparkguy Productions, who currently is a Disney cast member working at Walt Disney Studios, or no, not Walt Disney Studios, Disney's Hollywood Studios. And he also does vlogs on his YouTube channel and has
Walt
some
Disney
awesome
Studios.
streams. Yeah, I know. We have it in the news, so that's how I got mixed up. And he also has some awesome live streams on Instagram. So with that being said, Zach, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I got the shades on. I got my ears on too, as well. This week has been pretty crazy at Walt Disney World, but right now in the Orlando area, like not just Disney, but Universal and SeaWorld, it's busy just everywhere right now. If you see the wait time of Rock and Roller Coaster is 210 minutes, you know it's gonna be a pretty busy day. But you know what? It's magical regardless.
Yeah, and we are getting toward the end of the summer here, so everyone's trying to get that last vacation in, and so huge respect to everybody. I guess just working their butts off at the parks, because it is a crazy time right now. So
once like later August through September, that's usually our slow season. I think it's just everywhere. It's like the slow season, like once Halloween starts and all that, which that's usually when the lines die down. The crowds are very light. Like that's usually the best time to do your marathoning, I feel like.
So there you go. And then for this stream, we're actually starting off a little differently. This may be the way we start streams from now on, but you may have noticed I did not do a pre-stream Q&A, and that's because we are going to be doing a beginning of stream Q&A that'll be about 10 minutes. So I guess we can go till 8:15 Eastern, depending on how many questions we get. So ask any questions you have, and we'll do our best to answer them. So that is going to be the plan. And yes, we are going to be talking about Worlds of Fun in the news segment, because they have an announcement coming up, and heavily rumored to be a new, it's almost confirmed to be a GCI coaster, but potentially Titan track. So there you go.
Interesting. Oh, one second.
Recurring question. Have you ever been stung by a bee on a coaster?
I thought you were going first.
No, it's a recurring question. I have not, and that has not changed. But have you been stung by a bee on a coaster?
Nope, I have not. But I will say, on top of Iron Gwazi one time, I did see a lot of wasps around. And so I'm like, yeah.
I feel like that's the second time I've heard about bees or wasps at Busch Gardens Tampa.
Sorry, I'm sending the live stream on my Instagram story.
Oh, you're good. No, that's perfect. But you're the second one, I believe, who's mentioned Busch Gardens Tampa, like one of their coasters having bees or wasps, so that's pretty funny.
Who was the first?
I don't remember. It might have been Itai. I'm not 100% sure, but someone did. I do remember. Let's see. Have you been on the People Mover? I have not, but how about you?
Oh yeah, I was on it yesterday actually. I was gonna try to do it twice because Space Mountain was down for a while, and so like I was like, ooh, maybe the lights will be on, but it went back up, so I rode it once. But the People Mover, I think, is one of the underrated gems of Magic Kingdom, if I had to say, because it's nice and relaxing. You get to see all of Tomorrowland and Tron. Like, come on, how cool is that?
Yeah, it's already spoiled for me, but I know you get to see some cool stuff in the People Mover. But it looks like a ride that I definitely will have to check out when I do Magic Kingdom for sure. Dagan Barnes confirms it was Itai. Dang, good memory. All right.
I couldn't tell if I was on that stream or not.
I believe it was the one that was after the one where I just had him, if I'm correct.
Hmm.
Have you ever gotten sick on a coaster? You can answer this one first.
I've not actually, although I have been a little close sometimes. Like one story I'll give is when I went to Carowinds in 2019, I did Afterburn, and I think I was just really hungry. I had eaten so much that I like blacked out during the Batwing,
Oh wow.
and I was in the bathroom for like a good 30 minutes, like not throwing up, but like we'll talk about it honestly because I don't think this is the place to talk about it. I'd say, but that just goes to show you how intense Afterburn is and how good of a ride it is, and how like it'll make you feel that way.
Yeah, I mean, I could see how that could happen, especially after a pretty big meal. Yeah, could totally see that.
Because me and my friend we had the meal plan, and so like
Uh-huh.
it's like we were just went around eating nonstop.
Dang.
Which
So,
speaking of, it's probably gonna be that way. From I know like next week I might be going to Food and Wine at Epcot, so stay tuned.
that's cool. Alrighty, let's see. Don't forget about Dollywood's announcement. Yes, that will also be in the news segment. So,
I don't even know if Hollywood had an announcement, honestly.
it's gonna be on August 5th. So, and there's actually a shot I might be there on that day.
Oh
it's
yeah.
it's not confirmed at all that I'll even be going there, but discussions have started, and if it were to happen, that it might be on that day, but we'll see. Still a lot to be determined there. Favorite shop on Main Street, USA. This for
Ooh.
you.
I gotta give it honestly to the Emporium and Magic Kingdom just because they have a lot of variety like from like all a bunch of Disney like franchises. They even have a bunch of the 50th anniversary merch, which is really cool. I myself have not gotten any, but that's just I mean I'm usually there for the rides and stuff just to have a good time. But like I've walked down the shop before and it's really nice. I even have some friends that work there too.
That's nice. I mean, I guess I don't have a favorite shop at the Main Street USA like here at Disneyland, but I don't. I'm also one who doesn't usually shop super
Sorry, I'm
that
just getting
much.
some lovely room scent.
Oh yeah,
And some
is
scents.
that the like ones that are themed to the rides and whatnot?
Yep.
Nice. Those are pretty sick.
I said ET.
Let's see. Where do you think Tron will rank on your coaster rankings? It's pretty hard to predict, but I guess you can
Ooh.
try.
I honestly, that's a little tough because right now, like I've ridden 187 roller coasters. Originally, it was 186, but I didn't consider Terrain on Flyers to be a coaster until now.
Hmm.
So I'm still considering Skyrush and Orion to be about 100 and 150. I'm not. I'm just gonna pretend that I just wrote it because I don't. Because then if I did, a pin fire would have been my true 100, which I'm not letting that happen. But honestly. I'm maybe in the 30s range possibly because I don't know if it's going to beat Guardians because that ride's pretty good. It's in my top 25, but we'll just have to wait and see. Because I know some people who've worked like at Disney who are like top executives said it's like their number one coaster.
For Guardians.
No, Tron.
Oh, real.
They
Wait.
say it's like really good.
Have like they rode the one in Shanghai, or have they
Yeah,
ridden?
Shanghai.
Okay, yeah, that makes
And I know some
sense.
other people like other enthusiasts that have ridden it in Shanghai before. I'd say it's the number one.
Yeah, it sounds pretty. It looks like it should be pretty incredible. It's a coaster I've been pretty hyped to check out just because of how like cool it looks, even if it's not like the most thrilling or crazy coaster out there. But it's very hard for me to rank for that reason. I'm a big fan of Space Mountain at Disneyland, so maybe this will be, which that is in my like top 25 as well. Um,
Really? Space Mountain at Disneyland?
yeah, I'm like a lot higher on it than most because I have it over like
Hmm.
Millennium Force and Diamondback, but that's a very unpopular opinion, but I think it could be in like the top 30 as well, maybe. Probably top 40 at worst out of 114 for me.
Hmm.
Let's see what else there is. Intense Thrills in the chat.
Mike.
What is it? What other parks have you visited outside of Florida? So I guess name the parks you've done outside of Florida.
There's honestly so many that I can name. Like I've done over Georgia. I've been to Dollywood, Kings Dominion, Carowinds, Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, Six Flags America, Hershey Park, Maurice Piers, Cedar Point, Kings Island, Disneyland, California Adventure, Universal Studios Hollywood. Honestly, those are like some of the big name ones. Correct me, guys, if I'm missing any, because I know I've been to 30 different parks.
Wow. And then, I mean, all the parks I've been outside of, I've been to are outside of Florida. But I guess for me, outside of California, I've only been to 4 parks? No, 5. Done Adventure Dome, but I was like really little, so I didn't even get the big creds there. Cedar Point, Kings Island, Holiday World, and Six Flags Mexico. And actually, wait, Hershey Park. So I guess I've done 6. So
Yeah. I
there
know
you
you've been
go.
to Hershey Park more recently than I have, because last time I went was in 2018.
No, I went. I did not go that recently. I went in 2017.
Oh,
So yeah, I just made my list more recently because my channel didn't exist back then. So
yeah, I've
um,
been around since 2017 on YouTube, but I've only around like 500 subscribers. But I do it for fun.
yeah, and I
I'm not
mean
one of those
it.
cloud chasers.
And actually, I guess I know you're very close to 2,000 followers on Instagram. So for all of
Yeah.
you guys watching, I have his Instagram link and all his social media links in the description. So make sure to check him out.
Hmm.
Check out Theme Park Guy Productions. So
And also don't forget like on YouTube as well.
yeah, for sure.
My link's in the bio too on Instagram. So
Yep. So there you have it. Let's see. What is your favorite non-Disney coaster you have ridden?
well, my number one coaster is at Busch Gardens Tampa, which is Iron Gwazi. So I guess that would count as a non-Disney coaster.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, I think some people might. I know there's some people who you mentioned that some people. No, you mentioned that for Tron, but there's some people who have Guardians as their number one. So, yeah.
Hunter.
There's, I think, a few other people, but he's the
But
one
I
that
get it
comes to
because it's a
mind.
fun coaster. It's kind of like Hagrid's. Hagrid's isn't like the most intense or anything like that. It's got like Guardians is the most intense coaster ever, but it's just so much fun, and the effects are mind blowing.
Yeah, I really want to check that one out because as someone who likes Space Mountain, I really think I'm gonna like that one. So,
Mm.
um, in the
I like your
next
Space
five
Mountain more
years,
than my Space Mountain, even though we have the original.
you like the Disneyland version better.
The
I
effects and like the soundtrack just add the whole experience.
Yeah, without the soundtrack, the coaster would be a lot lower for me. That's what I will say. So
Mm.
it does add a lot to the ride.
I'd say
Uh,
that would be my favorite in the Disneyland park. Like not like including California Adventure, just Disneyland alone.
that's fair. It is my favorite in the Disneyland Resort, like pretty definitively. But
Mm-hmm.
I know most people it's Incredicoaster, which I can
Yeah,
respect.
that's my favorite.
So I guess I'll mention my number one's Voyage. That was pretty recent, but yeah, Voyage is my one.
My top bucket list coaster. Still have yet to ride it. We'll ride it maybe one day. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna.
just Hollywood Nights just sounds like an event filled with drama. So
Hey, I mean, I went not during Hollywood Nights, so you have that option available.
I
So
mean, maybe I'll go one year. We'll see. We'll see.
actually, this most recent year there wasn't much because they capped the event attendance wise. So we'll see if they do that in the future.
Mm-hmm.
What are our guesses for the next Mock Extreme spinner? Like where it's gonna go? I
Ooh.
guess prediction. Um, Man, that's a tricky question for sure. I will say that. If you have a park you're thinking of, go for it because I'm
There's
still trying to consider.
there's a lot I'm thinking of because I think a good one could be Dollywood. That could be a good prediction. That'd be like the first one that I would have thought top of my head. But also, like Cedar Point, that's another park I could see getting a mock extreme spinner.
I can't give a park, but honestly, I predict the next one's gonna be somewhere overseas, probably in Europe. That's gonna be my guess. I couldn't tell you where it would be, because I think Dollywood's kind of booked with their new coasters. It doesn't really seem like Cedar Point's getting anything super soon. So
Mhm.
Cedar Point fans, I think you're gonna be waiting a while for your next coaster.
It's the
So
capital of the world.
yeah, and
They'll get something eventually. Knowing Cedar Point, they'll get something eventually.
yeah, but I think something overseas first. But like I said, couldn't tell you where. All right, we'll answer the last few questions that have come in here up to the second one Badger State asked, and then go into the news. Park that frustrates you the most.
Ooh, like park that frustrates me the most right now. I'm gonna say SeaWorld Orlando. Like as good of a park SeaWorld is, like recently, I mean, I get sometimes it could be because of the fireworks, but they've been closing a lot of the rides pretty early. Like if it's like budget like cuts, I understand. Like right now, COVID, it's a big struggle right now. But like I just remember like when like they're closing almost every ride like an hour before the park closes.
Wow.
So like and I think the only ride that remains open is Manta, like before park close.
Hmm.
Like
It's
fireworks, I understand because like Icebreaker, that's literally next to the fireworks, and I'm imagining like the new coaster is gonna be the same way. But like Kraken Atlantis, I understand because they're pretty short staffed, so I'm not gonna really give them like anything with that, but it just I feel like Zero they could handle it maybe a little bit better if that's the case. Because when they reopened, I mean, they were in a tough spot and they closed some of the rides, but they kept like Mako open like right before park closed. Same with Infinity Falls, Manta. So like it's a little bit of it's just a little bit of a struggle, but I'm sure Zero they'll get themselves back to strength eventually.
yeah. I mentioned in the past, so I'm only gonna say what it is and not explain it. Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. Actually, wait, no, I will explain it just very briefly. The last time I went, I got these complimentary tickets. There you go. And that wasn't even the worst visit I've had at the park. So,
Really?
great.
What happened?
Yeah.
Like
It
just slow dispatches, everything?
most of the rides were closed in midday. So,
Uh
because my previous visit before, everything was closed at opening, but stuff eventually opened up, and this one was like, oh, mostly everything was open at opening, but then things
mhm,
closed as the day went on. So
mhm,
that park just always just is like really frustrating.
mhm.
Qu- Question for you: how good do you think the Browns will be?
That's actually a pretty difficult question, Badger State, because
There's
like
one variable that's unknown.
Deshaun Watson, because like I will say, like I think the Browns, I think they're probably going to finish third in the AFC North. I still got the Bengals and Ravens over the Browns, but I think the Browns they could maybe win like 9 games, maybe because I still believe in Miles Garrett and then like Nick Chubb. I still believe in those players and Anthony Schwartz too. Can't forget Anthony Schwartz. But I think they're going to finish higher than like the Steelers. But the thing is, still never count out Pittsburgh, even though I'm a Ravens fan, because they tend to surprise some people. But Browns, it's tough to call. They're probably the toughest team to predict going into 2022. Which, if you guys also don't get to follow Flock Fan on Instagram, that's my new football account. Which it'll be more active once the season actually starts.
Yeah, so make sure to check them out on there. I should put that in the description. I did
Yeah,
not,
it is
but
my backup account. It's fine.
all right. But yeah, make sure to check that out if possible. I'll throw my hat in here because I am an NFL fan, so I'll just answer this quickly. We don't know about Deshaun Watson. If you want my opinion of what I hope, I honestly hope they suck and they're fourth in division. and Deshaun Watson comes back and isn't any good. Is basically what I'm hoping
Weird.
for. I'm sorry to say
Didn't he throw a
that,
pick
but
six in like training camp or something?
people were making a bit of a big deal of that. I don't think it really means much in the grand scheme of things, but in actuality, I mean, they'll probably be third or fourth in the division. If they have Brissett in there, they'll miss the playoffs, but probably still be competitive, like, 7 to 9 wins, just because the roster is so good. But yeah,
It's the AFC North is going to be between the Bengals and the Ravens,
yeah.
and maybe Pittsburgh because their defense.
I mean, they have an upgrade at quarterback if Kenny Pickett plays.
Yeah,
So,
because Ben Roethlisberger, like,
he
as
was not very
last year,
good. So,
terrible. Which
yeah.
honestly, as a Raiders fan, felt really good, but it felt good to see them get destroyed by the Browns in the playoffs that one time.
Yeah, I just saw Badger State is not happy. I'm sorry. I'm not a fan of Deshaun Watson. So
The Ravens will be the first 0-17 team. Rep just came in. The Ravens will actually win the Super. No, I mean, as much as I love the Ravens, I don't have them win the Super Bowl. I got the Buccaneers being the Bills in the Super Bowl right now.
alrighty. I guess we'll move on to our news segment. If you had any questions that we didn't answer, then we'll have a final Q&A session at the end here, and that'll be the plan. But that's gonna be how we're gonna get into the news here.
Don't forget
And
to
we're
save those
gonna,
questions.
yeah, make sure to do that. And then we're gonna start off here with ride openings. There wasn't much. I've only doing news since the last stream, except the big stuff. We had Yanji Dinosaur Kingdom open, which they have a Golden Horse dive coaster, which is only the second one ever, and so it's really weird.
It does look weird.
Yeah, if you've seen video of it,
Trains.
it's pretty strange. No, like it literally has two different track types on the same coaster.
Huh?
Yeah, like if you look at a video or a picture of it, it has like B&M style track, then it goes into like some Intamin style track for an inversion. So it's really strange, but
What? That's crazy.
yeah, there's your ride opening. And in terms of ride reopenings, you had Finding Nemo Submarine Voyage at Disneyland reopen for the first time since I believe 2020. So any thoughts on this one?
I think that's gonna be really exciting for Disneyland. Like, I never got to ride it when I went because it was closed, but my dad got to experience it when he went to Disneyland in 2019 with his friend, and he said that it was a pretty cool experience. And it kind of gives me the reminiscence of an attraction that we used to have back home. I wasn't alive then. It was like 2,000 Leagues Under the Sea. It was at Magic Kingdom. It was where like the new section of Fantasyland is now. But yeah, I'm excited for them to get that attraction back.
And I'm interesting. I wasn't aware that Disney World had a ride similar to this, but that's kind of cool.
Back in the old days.
Yeah, but I've ridden this ride. I'm not that big of a fan of it, and I think it takes up a lot of room. So, but I think it has a place in the park, and it seems like it's always a favorite for, like when I was younger, I think I liked it, like when I was like really young. So it has a place in there, but not my favorite ride. But I guess it's good to see it reopen because it's better that it's open than just sitting there. That's for sure. So, yeah. Next, we have some construction updates. Huge thanks to Coasters and Cosplays. He's a YouTube channel for allowing me to use this still frame from his footage. But basically, in this picture, you can see the track for the Hot Wheels Hyper GTX coaster from Chance Rides, which is expected to be a launch coaster. So that is on site along with Bone Shaker, which is the Chance Rides family coaster. That's pretty much all we have for construction updates outside of the other thing I'll get to in a bit, but any thoughts here?
Sorry, what was the question?
Just the track has arrived on site for the Hot Wheels launch coaster at Mattel Adventure Park in Arizona.
Oh, Like, I didn't even know, honestly, I didn't even know Arizona was getting a new park or a roller coaster, but it's nice to see Arizona getting a roller coaster because I know for a while they've had the castles and coasters. But like, I like to see if this ends up as a racing coaster.
No, they're not making it. It's just going to be a single coaster. We have the IAPA concept art. It might be similar to that in some way,
Okay,
but
'cause I did not study on that one, so like,
that's fair.
'cause it's one of those that like no one's really like heard of.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's out there, but it is definitely in terms of like the upcoming coaster projects, so you hear a lot more stuff from like say Circuit Breaker and some of the other rides, so makes sense. But yeah, that's what's going on there. I see coasters and cosplays in the chat, so huge thank you there. Um, and then we'll move on to our next thing. I couldn't get a picture in time for this stream. This came out like a few hours before we came on, but Adventureland Iowa has cleared land for their 2023 project, which will be on Falling Star's former plot of land, which was a flat ride that existed there. We don't really know what's going there. Some people are saying maybe it'll be a log flume, and I've heard a few other things get thrown out, but nothing confirmed here. But that's our sort of
I always
update
forget.
there.
I always forget. Adventureland has a like. I forget the Iowa even has a park because it wasn't that. I feel like I remember Theme Park Crazy was talking about Adventureland being unsafe.
Yes, that was with the. It's changed ownership, but the park used to be family owned, and they had the horrible rapids accident, which it was really bad. I'm not going to go into it. But then, a few months after the accident, Palace Entertainment purchased the park, and so the family that owned it when they had the accident no longer owns it. So that's kind of the situation there. But they're getting a new attraction next year, and we'll have to wait and see what that is. Alrighty.
Alrighty.
And this is definitely wandering into the obscure side of news. This is probably the most obscure thing we have today. Wonderland Eurasia, this is a park in Turkey that is home to 17 standing but not operating coasters. It was only open in 2019, and it is now owned by the city of Ankara, which is where it's in. And it is sort of reopened for the first time since 2019 for walking tours, as the park is very much decaying, just because it's sat in the sun for years.
And
And
they did nothing
Citizen,
about it.
yeah, it's the company that helped build it. I think they had financial issues, and it was kind of a hot mess. And now citizens will kind of take part in figuring out how the space and land the park sits on will be used or repurposed. It's probably not going to become operational as a park again. But some weird bit of news that I found kind of interesting.
It's just kind of like with the Muppets movie from 2011, how like the old like the Muppet like studio turned into like a tour instead of like a whole park and all that. Like I don't know if you guys have seen that movie or not, but if you haven't, go watch it. It's awesome.
I have not seen it, so I'll have to check that out. But
It has like Jason Segel, Amy Adams, like that. It's kind of gives me like the thoughts of that scene from that movie.
yeah, it's a weird situation, but we'll have to, I guess, see the fate of this thing. I mean, like I said, not going to become a park again, but we'll see. Yes, this is the park with Cool and Fresh. This is indeed the park with that very weird coaster. So there you go. Next, we have Worlds of Fun. They will be making their 50th anniversary project announcement on August 11th, which is very much rumored to be from GCI. I mean, it almost is confirmed because there were permits that were found that tied a current Skyline Attractions engineer to the project, and there were items found that mentioned like foundations for a wooden coaster. And we also now know that 2 Infinity Flyer trains were sold to a park getting a new project for spring of 2023. That's something that came from the president of GCI himself. He didn't say it was Worlds of Fun, but we're guessing it is. The only question that remains is, will this be a Titan track coaster? And, what is it exactly going to be like? But they're going to be making their announcement then. Probably also some other 50th anniversary stuff going on. Your thoughts on this?
It's not gonna be as good as what Disney World has done for their 50th anniversary. I'm sorry, but yeah, like I'm saying, I think the Titan track that could be pretty cool for Worlds of Fun. But like, yeah, that's just my thoughts.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens, but
No shade,
definitely. Oh,
sorry,
my
no
bad.
shade to like Worlds of Fun or anything, but like I like, but I don't think it's gonna be as impactful as Disney World's 50th anniversary.
I mean, it's a regional park. You can't really expect that. So, I mean, this is still very exciting, especially for a park that has not gotten a new coaster since Prowler. Like, it's a
Is
very
it that long?
exciting. Yes,
When
it
was
has been that
Prowler?
long. 2009.
Oh my
So
gosh.
they've been waiting a while. So
Oh
this
my god, I
is
feel so bad now, honestly.
this is very much like sort of cool to see.
Yeah, I really apologize. I didn't even know for some reason I thought they got a coaster in 2015 or something like that.
They did get Timberwolf retracking that started in 2016 and extended a few years, but outside of that, nothing really new. So,
But yeah, it's kind of good. It's good to see Worlds of Fun like getting back on track with all that. Like if they do get the Titan track, I would be very happy for Worlds of Fun.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I really hope so too because I want to see Titan Track. I've talked with Tyler Mullins from Skyline Attractions, who is a design engineer over there, and so they've been working hard on the Titan Track, and I really want to see it come about. But even the Infinity Flyer trains, which we assume will be on this coaster, just because.
Mm.
Um, this is definitely going to be an exciting project, and I can't wait to learn more. And I'll probably be doing a reaction stream to this on August 11th.
Oh, you're right. Because I remember, like, man, I literally just lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, oh never mind. I was gonna say that I remember. I thought FunSpot was gonna get those trains too, and they did like retract White Lining with their Titan track.
They did test the Infinity Flyers on them, just almost no one saw it. If you watch the interview I did, that's actually mentioned in there that they did test it on White Lightning, but that like no one noticed. So,
Interesting.
yeah, pretty crazy.
hmm
Next, we have another announcement coming. These are slightly out of order, so I apologize for that. But Dollywood is making their 2023 attraction announcement, which is for a roller coaster, on August 5th. And this attraction is said to be, or will be, the largest investment for a single attraction in the park's history. So, pretty exciting stuff. Your thoughts on this?
I think that's gonna be whatever Dollywood gets. I think it's gonna be absolutely fantastic. Like this is why I was thinking of the Mac Extreme Spinner possibly going to Dollywood because I feel like I remember they were in the talks of that.
I don't, at this point, from what I've kind of heard and read, it seems more likely that this will be either a Vekoma motorbike or Vekoma launch coaster project, or potentially even something from Intamin, are kind of the leading things that are coming. And yeah, I imagine Dolly Parton is going to announce it herself. I mean, that's a pretty big deal. So, and if I'm there the day they announce it at Dollywood, that'd be pretty sick. But
hmm
that's still something that we'll see if that happens. But something to look forward to regardless. Next, we have something for Fun Spot America Atlanta. They have announced a new attraction coming soon called Screaming Eagles. This will be a flying scooters flat ride. So there's that. And your thoughts on this?
This is like I think wasn't this be like the third attraction they've mentioned Eagle in it?
They like to use Eagle, don't they?
Because I
Uh,
remember it was the Screaming Eagle. They had the Screaming Eagle roller coaster, and then this. But what else was there with Eagle? I'm trying to remember.
I'm not super familiar with the ride lineup, so but I do feel like they have used it a few times before.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, I do think this will be a good addition because those like Screaming Eagle attractions, like those flat rides, are really awesome. We got actually one over Fun Spot Kissimmee, and those are always a good time. Like I always enjoy those kind of flat rides. And also,
Yeah,
they forgot to theme their new coaster to the Falcons. 28 airtime hills, 3 inversions.
youch.
If you know.
Yeah, all right. Enough of
Okay,
that.
enough of that. But yeah, I think it'll be a great addition.
Oh, they have Scream and Swing. Interesting.
Ah, that's what
Uh,
it is.
yeah, that is actually pretty funny. History and Leisure mentioned that, so credit to him there. Um, but yeah. Next, we have Wildcat at Hershey Park. This is like sort of the big news topics that I wanted to get Zach's thoughts on. These are recycled from the
Mhm.
last news stream, but these were big enough that I wanted to mention it here again.
Mhm.
But Wildcat at Hershey Park, it's permanently closing on July 31st, my birthday actually, weirdly enough.
Oh, happy
And
early birthday.
yeah, and hey, one of my least favorite wooden coasters gets to close, so that's pretty cool. Um, but anyways, um, and for this, an RMC is very likely. If you haven't seen it, I put it on my Instagram. It's on
Mhm.
Reddit. But there was an interview with Claire Hain from GCI, from a local news station, where he mentioned that he was in the sort of in a competition with another competitor to put Steel Track on Wildcat, and that he thought he was going to get the job, but that ultimately they did not get it. And so if GCI and Skyline Attractions, they do the Titan Track, if they're not going to be putting the Steel Track on it, then who is? It's going to be RMC. So not
Yeah.
officially confirmed, but very likely. Your thoughts on this?
So like with Wildcat, I know you said it was one of your least favorite wood coasters out, so I was like, huh, because honestly, like I enjoyed it. I thought it was good, but I mean, as original as it was for Great Coasters International, I definitely felt like it was irrelevant with Hershey Park's one coaster lineup because you do have Lightning Racer over like actually pretty close by to Wildcat, and that roller coaster is amazing. So Wildcat just feels like a shadow compared to Lightning Racer. But at the same time, I really didn't think Wildcat was that bad because I mean, I felt like I had some good turns, some decent airtime for what it was, but at the same time, it just felt off. So I do think RMC will make this coaster this like 10 times much better because I don't think they're gonna do like what they did with Iron Gwazi or anything because this isn't as much land to work with. But I imagine RMC will do something special with this one.
Yeah, I think so too. And I guess on a bit of a nicer note from me, Wildcat obviously was the original GCI coaster, so it's obviously a big deal there. And I really appreciate, even though I myself did not enjoy
Mhm.
the coaster, it was a starting point for a manufacturer that I really enjoy riding their coasters. So, obviously got to give respect there to this ride. It definitely has its place in coaster history and a very deep meaning to GCI and a lot of people, really.
Mhm.
But I mean,
Yeah, because
yeah,
I will say this, like with Wildcat, like I feel like the older GCIs definitely got a little rough because like me and my dad both rode Wildcat, but we also rode the OG Gwazi, which I didn't think it was that bad, but that's because I was like 13 when it closed.
uh,
But my dad said that like Wildcat wasn't that bad, but he remembers Gwazi being insanely rough for a wind coaster. So it shows you that those older coasters might have a rough start, no pun intended, but then they'll get better over time. Because once like Lightning Racer and Thunderhead, then GCI took a turn like up.
yeah. Although I will say I did ride Roar, which is at Discovery Kingdom, which before it got RMC'd, which was one of their older wooden coasters, and I actually did like that one, so I'll give
Mhm.
them props there. But
Because I don't think I've done Roar at Six Flags America as well with the PTC trains, and I don't think
yeah,
it's that bad, but it needs the Millennium Flyer trains or an RMC.
yeah. Or a Titan Trek at this point, never know.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah. Alrighty, the next thing we have here, once again, thanks to Imperial Coasters for creating this graphic. But obviously, this is a Great America news, so most of you know already. But Cedar Fair, they sold the land to Great America to a company called Prologis. I still have not figured out how to pronounce them. And the park will be closing within 11 years, more likely within 6 years, because the official terms are for a 6-year lease that Cedar Fair can add an extra 5-year option onto if they would like. They're probably not going to. That's where you get the 11 years. And also in that contract, Prologis can force the park to close at any time within 2 years, or yeah, like that. They also decided to not renew their contract as the operator of Gilroy Gardens. So they are no longer operated by Cedar Fair as of the end of last year. However, because they didn't get the word out, if you have a Cedar Fair Platinum Pass, you can apparently still go to Gilroy Gardens. So that's pretty sick. But other than that, definitely seems like Cedar Fair wanted out of NorCal in general. Being nearby, I can understand why. Super expensive. Great America was for several reasons. Levi's Stadium being right next to there also didn't help. There's a lot of reasons why they probably wanted out. But very sad to see, for sure. Your thoughts on this?
I just feel really bad for you, Carrick, because you mentioned earlier that Six Flags Discovery Kingdom is a frustrating park, and California's Great America is usually the superior park. And so, like, knowing you who lives close to NorCal, I just feel really bad for you. Like, because California's Great America, I mean, it looks like a decent park. I mean, they've got like Flight Deck, Railblazer, Gold Striker, which look like all amazing rides that could be relocated. But the question is, like, how are they going to really relocate some of these roller coasters, especially Gold Striker, knowing that it's still in its prime? Like, wonder what they could do with that roller coaster.
Yeah. In my opinion, I don't think I went through this too much, but I'm a little less optimistic about coasters being relocated from Great America. I really think like the ones you're seeing are probably going to be Railblazer, um, maybe like Lucy's Krabby Cabbies and Psycho Mouse. Maybe I really don't see most of the other coasters getting relocated. Flight Deck, it's old at this point and it's kind of terrain based. And then Gold Striker. The interesting thing with Gold Striker is I think there might actually be a better chance than some people think it gets relocated because Great America put a ton of money into it because they had Skyline come and refurbish it for this season, which is a very weird move to make if you're gonna move on from it. So maybe there's a chance something happens there. I still kind of doubt it. I would say it's more likely it closes than not, but it's worth noting. And as for Gilroy Gardens will be fine. It's just operated by the city, which it was already owned by, so they're okay. Just no longer Cedar Fair Park. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Next, we have a Disneyland and Magic Kingdom announcement, and that is that Disney has announced the name of the replacement for Splash Mountain, which will be Tiana's Bayou Adventure, which is expected to open in late 2024. Interestingly enough, they have not given a closing date for Splash Mountain, but it's probably coming up soon, so probably better to write it sooner rather than later. And yeah, so what are your thoughts on this, Zach?
Well, Splash Mountain definitely was an iconic attraction, or it still is for Disney. Like, if you guys are able to go out there to Disney World or Disneyland, it definitely would ride it sooner than later. Like, I mean, I don't know any like dates on when it's gonna close, or I'm not gonna go like too in depth or anything like that. But I do think Tana's Bayou Adventure will be really good, like tech wise. Like, I know a lot of people are mad over it, but like, an iconic attraction is going away. I do think this will be a good, worthy replacement. I mean, look back when Maelstrom was a thing. Like, that was a very iconic, classic water/dark ride. And they closed and they added Frozen Ever After. But honestly, Frozen Ever After, I think is actually pretty good. And then you look like the Great Movie Ride, which it gets replaced by like Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, which is actually a pretty worthy replacement. So I do think Tiana's Bayou Adventure will be a good replacement or a refurbishment for Splash Mountain and Guardians and Tower Terror. Like I think Guardians was a really good good renovation of Tower Terror over at California.
Yeah, I'd agree. I rode Guardians before and after. I have decent confidence that this will end up working out and being great. It's just always sad to see an iconic attraction go, but hey, if you like Splash
Mhm.
Mountain that much, you can still ride it in Japan at least. So, you
That's
have
true.
that.
I think it's
Um,
probably my personal favorite water ride as of right now, just because of how iconic it is, and the music's just so much fun.
Not counting water coasters, it's my favorite water ride right now as well. So,
I'm not Journey to Atlantis. Even if I were counting water coasters, I would not include Journey to Atlantis because it feels like a shadow of its former self.
I water coasters as in not like actual water roller coasters, but like the Holiday World water coasters is if I included
Mm.
those would be higher. So, but besides that, amazing ride and should be exciting to see the future of it when it reopens as Tiana's Bayou Adventure. So that'll be pretty interesting. Next, we're gonna move on to our last two things, which are just rumors. I don't know. Actually, I don't know how much you can comment on this, but I guess we'll see. But there are rumors that plans for a new Star Wars area at Walt Disney Studios have been canceled. This was based on the park president's answer to if the Star Wars area was still coming, which a reporter asked, and she specifically stated in quote, "We are still working on the third theme. We will make announcements about this when we are ready," which people interpreted as they may have moved on and maybe heading to a different theme, but we'll have to wait and see. Your thoughts on this?
So with the Star Wars area, I mean, we never know. It could come back to Walt Disney Studios, but at the same time, I mean, this could open up some opportunities for some potential new themed areas that we've never seen before. Like, I know you've got Toy Story Land and Avengers Campus, and then you got that Frozen area coming in. I think that's gonna be pretty cool. But what about something like maybe a Ratatouille themed area, or one that I think would be pretty awesome? I know it's Marvel themed, but think of Black Panther.
Oh, like a Wakanda area.
Yeah, but it
That
also does pose a challenge because think about Chadwick Boseman.
it's a I I don't that I know that like there was some concept art for when the Disneyland expansion thing whenever they had the concept art for it when they were like proposing like building like another side of both California Adventure and Disneyland by like building a bridge or whatever that came out last year. There was some expansion plan. There was like something that looked like it was potentially Wakanda concept art. So that is something that would be pretty interesting to see. I mean, that'd be really cool in my opinion. But we'll have to wait and see what the plans are exactly for Walt Disney Studios. Poor park, I'll just say. But at least they're still getting Arendelle, so that's at least a good
Mm.
addition there. So there you
Yeah, I'm
go.
excited for them.
And our last sort of thing, this is for you in Orlando, so figured it would be interesting to get your take on this. This is from Screamscape, but rumor is that supposedly the first expansion area to Universal's Epic Universe will be themed to Lord of the Rings. I am not like into the franchise, so I can't really say much of it.
Mhm.
But your thoughts on this?
I would agree with you. I'm not really a big fan of Lord of the Rings. I'm not really into the franchise, but at the same time, it makes me question Universal and why are they already thinking of an expansion when the park hasn't even been built yet?
You always got to be thinking to the future, I guess, or
I
really
mean, that
far
is
ahead.
true. I'm really looking forward to Epic Universe at Universal Orlando, especially with the Nintendo area, the Monsters area, the Donkey Kong roller coaster, whatever dueling coaster they're getting. I think it's gonna be awesome. But I mean, we'll just have to wait and see because like my trust in Disney, I know Universal is gonna do something good too.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched most of the movies. I did read The Hobbit back in elementary school, but I couldn't I read it for AR points, so I don't have a great recollection of it. Um, but this does seem like an IP that if they do it well, it could make for a great land, because I'm not super into Harry Potter, but I very much like what Universal did, even with like Universal Studios Hollywood, and I know the other parts, Universal Orlando with Islands of Adventure, that's a bigger area than that, and Universal Studios Florida has the other area, which is completely unique to them. So I definitely think there's a lot of potential here if they want to go this route. So yeah. Alrighty, so that's going to do it for our news. We do still have two sort of little channel announcements here. And one of them is that if you are interested in becoming a Coaster Time guest, you can fill out the self-request form in a description. I will also have it pinned in the comment under the timestamps after this is done, if you're watching this on record. But if you're interested in coming on, you can fill out the form. Now, filling out the form doesn't guarantee that you will come on, but it gives you a better chance than not doing it, if that makes sense. So there you have that. And I mentioned in the last stream that there is a big announcement or a big thing coming to the channel, and that I'd be doing teasers. We had teaser 1 in the last sort of channel thing, and these are going to be pretty vague, but here is the second one. As you'll see over time, they will start to make a little more sense, but this is your second teaser. Just this picture here. So there you go. You can try to guess what that means, but you might have a better chance as more teasers get revealed in the coming episodes and weeks and probably months. So because this is a big thing I have planned. So there we go. And that is going to wrap it up for our news segment. So there you have it.
There.
What was that?
That was a good segment there.
Yeah, I try to work on it, so, or at least I try to get it down. So that's going to pretty much wrap that up, and we'll head into Coaster Hangman, which is actually a game that is inspired by the guest on here today, Zach from Themeparkguy Productions. He has done Coaster Hangman games on his Instagram live streams, which are really good. His Instagram live streams. He also does guess the soundtrack, which for obvious reasons I don't do on here, but
yeah, it'd be a little complicated to do, like just from like a computer.
Copyright is kind of the biggest one.
Yeah.
So, but he's got a lot of great live streams, so we're gonna be doing that in a bit. So. I'll get that set up and we'll get started on that pretty quickly. So let's see. I always have this set up before. I haven't done this in a while. So let's see.
You just gotta get warmed up and then.
Yep, it'll be pretty good. All right, so. Here it is. Here's the beautiful title screen. So elegant. Definitely put so much time into it. So there you go. Not really. But anyways, we'll be getting started on our game in, like I said, just need to get things set up here. And here we go. So here is round 1. You guess the letters in the chat, or you try to guess the word. There is no hang person. That's way too much work for me on this stream. Yeah. But I'll have for anything that's a no. There you go. And actually, also for you, Zach, your guesses, if you could put it in the private chat, that'd be good on StreamYard, because you're a little ahead, so it might be a little unfair. It's not Kumba. It's not Beast. Okay. There is no A. There is no E. There is no I, but we do have one O, and then we do not have any U's. Going for the vowels here, I get the idea. It is not Montu. It does have an R. It does not have a D. It does not have a V. It does not have an F.
My guess is dumb. That's just a guess.
Hey, why not, right? It is not, but no, that's not what it is. It is, it does not have an H. Doesn't have an I. We already established that. Doesn't have an L either, in case that's what that is. So I'll just put it in there. And yeah, I guess everyone can see the thing all right. So that should be pretty good. Still nothing. And also, I should mention, we are doing international coasters. I mean, some of you are international, so there is an S and there is a T. So at this point, that's gonna be pretty easy to get at this point. Civilian satellite got it first. It is Storm, which is the mock sort of. It's a mock, like, not quite. It's like kind of like Mock's take on the Intamin Blitz. It's at Etna Land. It's kind of Intamin Blitz like, I guess, or not Intamin Blitz. Sorry, Intamin Megalite-esque, like Puritan. It's kind of like that, but for mock rides. But it has inversions. So yes, the correct answer is Storm, and that is one of the international ones. All right, so we are moving on to our second round, which this will be interesting to see how quickly people get this one, or how
Congrats,
long it
Civilian
takes.
satellite.
Yeah, for sure. That was a good guess. There is multiple E's.
Ooh. Ah, never mind. That would not work.
There's, surprisingly, despite how long this word is, there's no S. There is no Y. There is no D either. There is multiple A's. There is one T. Now, someone might be able to get it now at this point. And there is one I. There are no O's. There we go. We already said E. There is no U. There is no wait, sorry, there is an N. And we already established no S. There is no W. My brother in the chat, not one to usually watch my streams, but there he is, Gilgy. Make sure to check him out. He does a lot of cool stop motions, Lego stop motions, which take him about 1,000,000 years to create. So, shout out there. No W, no C, and there is no P either. It's not Canadian Beetle, but Imperial Coaster got it. It is Bavarian Beetle. This is the one of the defunct Kings Island coasters. History and Leisure got it as well.
Wow.
Now these ones have been a little bit more on the obscure side, but this next one will be a lot easier. So
it made me think of like the Beatles, like the rock band.
Yeah, it's definitely a throwback for sure. Just like the Beatles, so there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love some Paul McCartney.
Let's see. But we are now down to our next coaster. There is multiple A's. There is no X. Be a pretty big giveaway if there was. There is one D. Trying to make sure I have everything because there's been a few times where I messed up in the past on streams and forgot a letter. There is no E, surprisingly. There is one O. There is no I. There is, surprisingly, no S. It is not Diamondback. There is no B. There are multiple N's.
The last round makes me have like I have a Beatles song stuck in my head now.
There you go. It's not Diamondback. It's not Dragon. Civilian Satellite got it again.
Yeah,
Dragon Con at Fort
Civilian.
Aventura.
That was
Actually, a bunch of people got it at the same time.
yeah. I see, Marina got it. Hey, Marina. We also got
Hey, former
plays,
guest. There we go. Hi, Marina.
leisure, coasters and cosplays. Yeah, it's Dragon Con.
Yep. I think everyone was kind of waiting for a few more
Yeah,
letters to get in there.
yeah, you got the letters down. I was like, yeah, it's pretty obvious.
All right, we'll move on to our round 4, halfway through these. So here's the next one, which is pretty short actually. So this one will probably be pretty quick. We still haven't had any like super legendary snipe level. I don't even know what to call it. Sort of guesses yet. It's not Fury 325. That's a really good guess. Could
Yeah,
have totally been right.
I would have
Right?
been fooled by Civilian.
There is no P. Marina got it. That's the snipe. There it is. It's wild one. That's
Yeah,
it.
Marina would have gotten me like congrats, Marina. She would have gotten me like that would have been a throw off too. Wild One's a really good coaster, I will say.
Yeah, and for Marina, that was a snipe. So there we go.
It's 100 years old, yet it packs a punch. Like it's not even that rough.
Yeah, I've heard they've kept good care of it.
But it's weird because I wrote it 5 years ago, so like maybe it's different, but I haven't heard anything saying it's gotten painful or anything.
That's good to hear. We're on to our next coaster, so guess away. This one's another one that I think could be potentially pretty quick, but there is no S. Alrighty, let's see what our next one. Oh my god. Like, if I should make a rule, you shouldn't be able to put in multiple letters. That's a lot of work for me. But there's no A. There are 2 E's. I'm also a ridiculously slow typer, if you haven't noticed, somehow. No I. But there is 1 O. And there's no U. There's no D either. It's not Excalibur. It's not Leviathan. It's not Vertigo. It's not Guardians.
You forgot it says Tears and Fears edition.
Oh, is that one of the songs on it?
Yeah, Everybody Wants to Rule the World. It's
Yeah.
really not yesterday with the ride. It's awesome. One of the
No
better
C on
songs.
it. Wait, yeah, there's no P on this. Is that an I? I'm gonna say that's an L and put it in. There is 1 L.
Oh, Marina, I will say I didn't think it was the best song. Mine's favorite so far is probably September, but it's one of the better ones.
All right, let's see. There is 1 R. There is no W.
Well, the thing with September is that like it just fits. It is a classic Guardians of the Galaxy song.
Civilian Satellite got it again. It's for Bolton at Busch Gardens,
Oh,
Williamsburg. Yeah, there you
good job,
go.
Savannah Satellite. He's been really good today. Bolton is a very fun coaster.
Yeah. And actually, to the point of September, I have a friend who I basically took to Disneyland for the first time. That was my last Disneyland visit. He really likes September, and I told him it's on Guardians. So I'm like, dude, you got to go check it out now. Yeah, so something interesting there.
Well, Maria, you get too much because Hunter, you like keeps getting it. Yeah, the
Yeah.
thing is, like, one of my friends, he keeps getting Conga, which is a fantastic song on the ride.
Kind of funny that it's like there's how many different combinations? Like how
6.
many? 6, and you can keep repeating. That's kind of funny. Kind of funny.
still need Disco Inferno. That's the only one I've not gone yet.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't written it, so, you know. But I'll do it eventually. All right, we have our next coaster. There is one T here. Yeah, all right, Zach, you got it. I mean, yeah, I guess this time around it didn't make that much of a difference, but like I said, put it in private chat. But yeah, the correct answer is Montu. That is the correct answer. I don't think it made that much of a difference here, just because it's pretty easy. But yeah.
I will say, Marina, honestly, Iron's probably my least favorite so far.
Alrighty, here's our next coaster.
Oh, I will say Minnesota Thrills. Manta would be a fantastic guess.
Yeah, that would have been a good one for sure. It totally could have been right. Totally could have been that one. There is no Z. However, there are two A's. There are no D's. No O's. No U's. No S.
Oh, you put an S. Though.
Oh wait, sorry. There is an S. It is in
Yeah,
there.
you put an S.
I said no, but it's in there. So yes, there is. No T. It's not Blue Streak. There are multiple R's. There is no N. There is one E. And History and Leisure got it right. It is Hair Razor, quickly followed by Marina. Hair Razor at Ocean Park in Hong Kong. So
I forgot about that one because that's a B&M floorless.
Yep.
I was thinking of like Kraken for some reason, which is a classic.
Yep. And then we have our final coaster, which should be pretty short here, actually. It is not Tatsu. Good guess. It is not Manta. Marina got it right. It's Tehran. I didn't want to say anything, but I had a good feeling that was going to happen.
I'm reading very well. That's like her number one.
But that's a snipe. Yeah, I kind of figured. I didn't want to leave any hints on the table, but I'm like, I pre-did this beforehand, so that was lucky. But another snipe for Marina, so congrats. And that's gonna wrap it up for our roller coaster Hangman game for this week. So there you have it. And I just got out of the format document, which is not ideal.
I didn't realize how hard my games were.
Yeah, I mean, I do some weird coasters that I try to do ones that I still feel like are relatively recognizable. I do know I still have people though who are not from the US, so I try to include international stuff for that reason.
Yeah, because I mean, I never really study on the international coasters. Like some of them, but not all of them. Like I always study on the American ones for some reason.
That's fair. I mean, I'm super into like all the weird coasters out there, just like learning more about them. So that way, you know, if I'm ever traveling somewhere, it's like, hey, there it is, and it's pretty convenient. I can do it. So there you go. And the opportunity hasn't presented itself, but maybe one day.
Like that's why whenever I do, I guess the soundtrack game, that's why I'm always like, dude, Disney, Universal, or just other, like any park from the world. Because Disney and Universal are the two most common.
For sure. But next we'll move on to our next segment, buy or sell. Man, I need to get situated in the chair. I'm like killing myself leaning over. But anyways, we're gonna do buy or sell, which is gonna be basically you give us your predictions or takes, and we react to them and say if we buy or sell it. Yeah, exactly. And that's going to be the plan. Airtime Thrills was Chris from Airtime Thrills was a former guest of mine. That's kind of what inspired this series, and I reached out to him, asked if I could use it. It's a series, it's a segment you see on like sport shows and stuff, but he was the one who brought it to the coaster world, and he was more than happy to. So, huge shout out to him for that. Copying from Airtime Thrills, I saw that. I mean, you're not wrong completely, but I just felt like it was a better segment on here because I used to do predictions, but that didn't have like the viewer interaction portion. So I felt like it was a worthwhile thing to do. And you know, it's a little different on the streams. It's not the same thing as like a whole pre-done video. So it's I think it's a good addition to these streams. Six Flags Discovery Kingdom will have a massive increase in attendance after Great America closes for good. Yeah, and they'll become the monopoly of Northern California and do nothing. So, you know, that's pretty sick. Not really. I mean, I'm just so mad about that. That's the thing I'm most mad about the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, I guess that's a buy or sell. Yeah, I buy that. I buy that. Yes.
Yeah, I buy that too, honestly.
Because it's unless you want to make the drive to Santa Cruz, which serves a different audience in my opinion anyways, because you're probably going to the beach as well. Most people do. Yeah, Discovery Kingdom's going to be the place, so bye. Gold Striker will not be relocated. I'm a buy that, unfortunately. I think that's probably going to happen.
This one's a little complicated, honestly, because Gold Striker is still a good coaster, has a great layout. So like it's hard. Like I'm very neutral about this because I could honestly sell it. Like I think they could like relocate it potentially, but also I could buy it because it's hard to relocate a wind coaster and keep it that much in shape. So if I had to choose between, I'll just buy because it's a little hard to relocate a GCI. I feel like it wouldn't be as good of quality.
Like I said, the only kind of weird thing is that Great America did put a lot of money into the refurbishing it for 2022, and it seems like they let the Gilroy Gardens contract expire at the end of last year. Maybe they already paid for the refurbishment, but why would they do that if it's like, oh yeah, we're just gonna sell this park? Because it seems like that's something you would have planned out at least a good while before you actually make the move.
Yeah,
so,
because
I mean, you go.
Because like maybe they just didn't have it in the plan in the future. Maybe it could be like a pandemic thing or something like that.
Yeah, it could have been something that was planned and then just delayed. You never know what's going on behind the scenes, but we'll have to see. But I still don't think it's gonna be relocated. I think it's gonna just get bulldozed. So I will buy that, as I mentioned. Buy or sell, Valley Fair will get a new coaster for the 50th anniversary. When is their 50th anniversary? Minnesota Thrills, just for reference. But you want to go first for this?
Honestly, I'm gonna say buy. I'd buy that because, I mean, Valley Fair. I mean, it's kind of like Worlds of Fun. Like, I mean, I haven't really studied much on Worlds of Fun, but like, I can maybe see them investing in a new coaster. So I'd buy it. Like, I agree with Minnesota Thrills.
It is 2026. I mean, at this point, sure, I'll buy it because I know there's been talks of, oh, maybe they're getting a new coaster, they're working on something. It really just doesn't seem like there's really anything super concrete, like that they're working towards something in like the next year or two. And at that point, you know, why not just wait till the 50th, just have something nice. So I'll buy that as well.
I remember like with Disney. I mean, it was because of the pandemic. Like when Disney hit their 50th anniversary, like that year. I mean, they opened Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, but they were also supposed to open Guardians and Tron that year originally before the pandemic. But then they delayed like Guardians to this year, which is already open, phenomenal ride. and Tron is still under construction right now. So
Yeah,
anything can
so
happen.
yeah, I mean, yeah, that's very true. So, but I think yeah, we'll see it. They got to get something eventually right, and that'll be 19 years since Renegade, so I would hope so.
I always think of
Which
the TikTok when I think of the Renegade. Renegade, Renegade. I'm not gonna do it on here because it'd be weird, but
alrighty. At least two Six Flags parks will get new coasters in 2023.
I'm Sal. Because I mean, Six Flags, like, they really haven't done much.
I'm gonna say bye actually because they're already getting Aquaman for next year, so that's one.
That's
So
still
all
delayed.
yeah, it got delayed till next year.
What's happening with that? That's like
I should have put that in this news segment. I mentioned it in the last one, and I'm like, I'm not gonna put it in this one, but I should have, I guess.
what's
Um,
happening with that?
there's just not enough summer left, is basically their thinking, so they're delaying it till next year. So I'm definitely buying that because it literally would only take one other park to get something, which I feel pretty good that's going to happen. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I
buy
mean,
that.
I'm still gonna say Sal because we still don't have like I haven't seen any rumors of like any of the other parks getting new roller coasters, but you never know. I could be wrong. If I
Six
am wrong,
Flags. Oh wait, no, my bad. Sorry, you go.
if I'm wrong, y'all can roast me in the DMs and everything.
Six Flags tends to be a little. They start their construction a little later. It always seems like, so that's kind of why I'm like, I think something could still happen. So we'll see. Um. Okay. I was curious if this would be brought up, but all right. I'm kind of
Hmm.
happy it did. Knott's will quietly remove the chaperone policy over the quieter season. I'm going to sell that. They have had problems
Hmm.
with fights in the past over like the past 2 years. There's always not. I shouldn't say always, but there's been things that have happened. I've never had to experience it, but I do understand it's a problem for them, and I do think they're going to keep it for the long haul. So I'm going to sell that.
Yeah, I'd probably sell that too because I mean, you never know. They could not say anything and then just not enforce it. But like the chaperone policy, I mean, we'd see a lot of fights that occurred over at Knott's Berry Farm and all the threats and everything. It's just crazy over there. But like, I mean, maybe like for me at least, I'm probably not going to pay attention to it because like I'm 20 years old and like so it wouldn't impact me that much. But also like I just find it crazy. So I think we could see not still enforcing it. So I'm going to say sell just overall.
Yeah. The interesting thing with these chaperone things that kind of comes up is like um it's interesting to me to see if this will spread to other California parks because I used to be on a cross country team and we used to practice in Santa Cruz for like a week in summer. And, at some point we would head to the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk, but we'd be kind of in our own groups. But none of us would be, but if say Santa Cruz implemented it, like the team would be screwed in future years because the groups are basically all like a few like um, athletes just in groups. So that would kind of suck, but I'm hoping it doesn't get to that point and things just calm down. Alrighty. Dollywood's new addition is going to be a mock extreme spinner behind Wildwood Grove. You can go first for this.
I'd buy it, Marina. I'd buy it because like we discussed this with the mock extreme spinner question earlier in the stream. But I honestly think the next mock extreme spinner it's either going to be Dollywood or Cedar Point. But Dollywood, I can really see it going over there because I mean I did even see like them maybe teasing links like a year or two ago for Dollywood on what Taylor Bybee's videos. And so I honestly would buy it.
I mean, I would love to see that. That would be my pick if we could see anything. But I'm going to like super sell that. Like I'd be willing to bet money on it.
Mm.
Because everything I've heard is it's either Vekoma or Intamin. Vekoma would kind of make sense because they did Dragon Flyer, so maybe they have a 2 coaster contract in there. There could be something like that. Intamin is interesting, but is an interesting one because they haven't worked with them, but I've heard a lot of people say it's going to be them as well. And also Vekoma had the shipments, which some people said it might have been for Dragonfly, or other people said it could have been for a new coaster at Dollywood. They had shipments go to Dollywood this year that were pretty good in size in terms of weight. So I think it's going to be one of those 2 things, not a mock extreme spinner, but I'd love to see it for sure. Let's see here. We'll answer any questions up until 9:25 is the plan here. So 9:25 Eastern, that is. Stuntfall, which is the Vekoma giant inverted boomerang at Parque Warner Madrid, will get relocated to Belantis or another Parque Reunidos park in Germany. I wouldn't know enough to make a confident prediction on that, and I don't know what's happening with that area, if there's like a legitimate reason that could happen, but I'm going to say sell. I just find that unlikely.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. I'd say sell because I feel like Stuntfall, isn't that one of their iconic attractions?
It's one of their more notable ones, from my understanding, yes.
So I'd sell it just because I feel like it's too iconic for the park.
But yeah, I mean, that's another thing. It would be a pretty major attraction to remove, but I don't know that park super well, so you could totally be in the right there, and I'm just like completely clueless as to like the status of that ride and everything. So I can't give much confidence in that one. Six Flags Great America will get an RMC in the next 10 years. You can go first.
Ooh, that's a little tough. I'm probably gonna sell that one because I mean they already got Goliath, but also I feel like that park's a little landlocked.
I don't know what their land situation is.
Yeah,
But
but
no,
I
you
mean,
go.
because I feel like they have so many roller coasters already, and there's not enough space. That's just my prediction. But I've never been to Six Flags Great America, so I can't say much Imperial Coaster.
I am going to buy this because I think they're going to get an RMC Raptor, just larger scale, which is pretty like you can fit that in somewhere. Those are pretty skinny, so you can kind of figure that out. So I'm gonna buy it because I think they're gonna get a large scale Raptor at some point, assuming Wonder Woman doesn't like have a million problems, because I do have to wonder if Six Flags is starting to get a little sick of the RMC Raptor problems they've had to deal with. So Jersey Devil had a ton of issues, and Wonder Woman had to at Fiesta Texas had to close for an extended time this season. So we'll see. Let's see what else. Nagashima Spa Land will make a major new coaster announcement within the next 5 years. I buy it. They seem like they had a pretty good role in the 2010s. They got Acrobat, which is the Manta clone. Manta as in SeaWorld Orlando. They got Arashi, the world's craziest SNS 40 free spin that flips like a million times. And then they got Hakuge, so I'm buying that. I think they'll do it.
And Imperial Coasters, I'm going to buy that.
You had to get the money out. Nice.
I gotta make it rain. Yeah, I would go ahead and buy that one because, like, Nagashima Skyline, I feel like, aren't they the roller coaster capital of Japan?
They do have the most coasters right now, so I don't know if they advertise as such.
Because I do believe that they could actually improve that park. And, like, a good addition I'd like to see actually over at Nagashima Skyline would be a Raptor. Maybe one of those, like, larger scale Raptors, if possible.
They do have the working relationship, so you never know. That could be something in the cards. So hey, you never know. And Fuji-Q Highland's getting that motorbike coaster next year, so
they are.
Yeah, it's not official yet, but there's track up and like concept art. They're getting a motorbike. So
Mhm.
that apparently cost like $40+ million. So that's epic. But anyways,
Mhm.
buy or sell, Cedar Fair will close. Another Cedar Fair park. I'm gonna go first for this one. I'm absolutely selling this. I know people are really scared because of what happened with California's Great America and they got out of Gilroy Gardens. I myself, I really think they just really wanted to get out of Great America in general and NorCal in general. Stuff is just super expensive up there. Everywhere was hit pretty hard by the pandemic, but I've heard from some people who live in NorCal, and my mom actually works for a company that is based there, and so she's had to travel there. Um, and I've heard things have gotten really rocky and for businesses up there for a lot of them. So I think it was more a result of that than Cedar Fair actually this becoming a trend. So I'm selling.
Yeah, I gotta say sell, honestly, with those thrills because, like, I mean, I agree with you, Carrick. Like, over in NorCal, like you said, it's a little expensive over there in California, but also, like, I mean, it just could be a pandemic thing, which is probably the best description I've had for a lot of my opinions. But I feel like everyone was impacted by COVID and all that. So, but I don't think it's so bad enough where they have to close like Michigan's Adventure, Valley Fair, all of that. So I'm gonna sell that one.
And I saw your thing. I don't think it would close King's Dominion. I that
Yeah.
just seems really
So
unlikely. And as for Michigan's Adventure, there's actually a reason they keep that park. Michigan's Adventure isn't super far from Cedar Point, so by keeping it, they actually kind of control the competition in that Michigan area. So that's and like no one else wants to build a new park because they're gonna have to compete with Michigan's Adventure, so they're gonna have to, put in a lot of money to
and
get it
Kings
up.
Dominion has two elite roller coasters. There's no way they're getting rid of the park with Intimidator 305 and Twisted Timbers.
And then they're putting a lot of money into it, even if it's not like big coasters. I mean, that Jungle Expedition area, that was not cheap. That looked quite expensive. So, and they did put in a 40 free spin, which yes, it's a cheaper coaster, but combined with the themed area, that's not a cheap addition at all. So, I'm definitely not on that train. All right, so I'm gonna put a cap here. We'll answer all the questions up to Imperial Coaster's latest question.
Yeah, I said
So
it's 9:27 already.
yeah, I meant to put a stop there, but we'll get to the other ones here in a little bit. Let's see. Hershen will acquire a park on the West Coast in the next 5 years.
So
There, all right, that's fair to say, Sel. I would say that, but I kind of feel like, if Gilroy, the city of Gilroy, wants to get a new operator in there, I think Hershen would actually be a really good fit. They have experience with
you're
aquariums.
right.
They have experience with aquariums and other like sort of natural places that are not amusement parks. So I think if they want to get an operator in there, Hershen could be the move. So
You're right.
outside of that, though, I would sell, but I will say that if they do want a new operator, maybe Hershen could be an option. Maybe, but
Mhm.
I
But
don't feel like it's super likely.
yeah, it's a sell for me.
But just wanted to throw that out there because I think that would be kind of a cool idea.
I like that. Who said that one? Who was it?
Imperial
Imperial.
Coaster.
I like that thought, Imperial. I like that.
Buy or sell. King's Island will get an RMC eventually. You can go first.
Ooh, that's a
I'm
tough
just
one,
I'm
honestly.
just gonna straight up say sell. I mean, I guess eventually
Mhm.
maybe, but I really do feel like Cedar Fair and RMC are not on good terms. I know it's just a rumor, but it
As
just seems
much
like there's something there.
as much as I want to say buy, I'm gonna say sell because I mean, with the area of Vortex used to be, I mean, most rumors are saying that's going to be a dive coaster, but I mean, who knows? They could put in a really sweet Raptor over there. I still have not done a Raptor, but I've heard there are very intense rides. But I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. They've already got a great wind coaster collection that are all good rides, like Racer, the Beast, Mystic Timbers, 3 amazing wind coasters, especially Mystic and the Beast.
Yeah, for sure. And then the other thing for me is I think the only way Kings Island would get an RMC is if they were to be like, all right, we want to get that spiritual Son of Beast successor, that huge hybrid, whatever, even though Steel Vengeance isn't too far away, but just some sort of replacement that they can hype up, and that's how they would do it. Other than that, I can't see them going to RMC, and I think there is something there to that whole Cedar Fair situation because they went to GCI and Skyline for the Wolverine Wildcat Titan track, and if this Worlds of Fun project is Titan track based, that I think is a pretty big sort of like signal that there's definitely something rocky with their relationship with RMC. So yeah.
All
right,
well, I mean, we'll have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah. Last question. At least another amusement park besides California's Great America will close in California within the next 15 years. I mean, if you're talking about any park in general, like even like teeny ones and whatnot, like little one-offs and like family entertainment centers, then I'll buy pretty easily. But if you're talking about like a major park, like, okay, for example, like I could see somewhere like maybe Castle Park closing. I don't know. That's a Palace owned park. Like I could see something like that. But if you're saying like Magic Mountain, Disney, Universal, SeaWorld, like one of those places, I'm going to say sell. If
I'd
you're
sell
talking about
it.
a major one, so yeah.
That's a sell for me. I'm sorry, Imperial. Like, I mean, California, I mean, NorCal, I mean, that's just a rough situation over there. But, like, in SoCal, I mean, a lot of locals go to, like, Knott's Berry Farm, Six Flags Magic Mountain, but then Disneyland Universal ain't going anywhere.
Yeah.
If
And
they were to
see,
remove one park, I could see SeaWorld potentially
I don't
because
think so. They're
it's
like completely alone in San Diego. I wouldn't think they'd go anywhere.
that, yeah, and yeah, kind of true. I was just thinking because of the whole, like, budget cuts, controversy. I just think it could possibly be that way.
I don't think so. I know that the SeaWorld parks have been running not super great lately, as I've heard, but
Busch
I
Gardens wasn't that bad when I went like last week. I didn't think Busch Gardens was too bad.
but I don't think they're in huge trouble. I just think the way they've kind of gone about their situation has been, not exactly consumer friendly is the best way to put it. Delaying coasters for as long as they did, it worked out in the end and was probably a good move financially, but not exactly a great looking move. And there's other things, but I think they're fine. So we'll
Yeah,
see.
I think they're fine. I mean, we'll just have to see what happens. I think Stewart Orlando is going to bounce back next year with the surf coaster.
Hopefully. All right, but that's going to wrap it up for buy or sell. A lot of great questions, so thank you or like predictions, takes as well. So huge thank you to you all for giving the questions there. And next, we're going to move on to our tier list, which will be 25 random Disney and Universal rides. And for those of you in the chat, you can also give your thoughts on the tier list, like where rides should rank, and you can help influence the tier list along with our opinions on this as well. So, and actually, I forgot to take off the slides. So there we go. But anyways, let me just kind of get this in a better situation. There we go. And so here is our tier list. All Disney and Universal rides either from the California or Florida parks/resorts. And so for our first one, I have to get out my thing for it, but this is going to be Alice in Wonderland at Disneyland, California. Where would this rank for you?
Alice. So actually, fun fact: I did not get to do Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, but if I had to give an estimate, maybe C tier.
Now, I have done this. This was, in my opinion, one of the better rides in, I guess, yeah, it is in Fantasyland. But out of like kind of the more classic-ish rides, it's one of my more favorite ones. That being said, it's like high C tier for me, so
Mhm.
we're gonna stick it in there. Still a good ride though. I enjoy it. Maybe B tier if depending on how this thing
Mhm.
goes. But
Like lower B tier, maybe.
yeah. All right, the next one we have is Twilight Zone Tower of Terror
Oh,
at
S tier,
Hollywood
S tier,
Studios. I don't
S
think
tier.
you're
It's
gonna get too much
so good.
pushback.
It's so good. If you guys haven't done Tower of Terror, it is one of the best rides of all time. Like, would you agree about with like Guardians?
I wouldn't say Guardians is one of the best ride. Like I like it. It's not one of my all-time favorites, and I wouldn't go as far as to say it's like one of the greatest rides ever built. But
Mhm.
it. But I haven't done this one, and but I'm very excited to do it whenever I get the chance.
Mm-hmm. Because Tower of Terror, I mean, the thing is, you get ejector every time. The only thing that's holding you is a seatbelt. So for me, that's easy S tier material.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
And
I
like, I know at Disney right now, they've been only running one side of the attraction, so the wait has been kind of long for it. Or I shouldn't
yikes.
say kind of long, it's been very long for it when they're only running one side. So like when they're running both sides, which they have done that again recently, the wait's usually never too bad, and it's one you can just ride over and over again. Because also you've got like the randomized drop sequences, so like it's one that's worth doing over and over again.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my top bucket list rides at the entire resort. And those of you in chat, you can also give your, like I said, your thoughts on the tiers as well to kind of influence it if like we're too high or low on them. The next ride we have is the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. I have listed as the Disneyland, but if you've only done the Disney World version, we'll put that in there too. Why
Hmm.
not? Where are you gonna rank this?
I'll give it seats here. I haven't done it in years, but it's been a long time. But I know it's a decent ride for what it is. It's a classic.
It's one of my like sort of guilty pleasure rides. I don't know. I just like doing it. The Disneyland version. The there's one room that's like super trippy, and I think the person who made it was like on acid or something. But that's the fun of it. And the little vehicles like the beehives, those are pretty fun. Just kind of cool design. So I enjoyed the ride for that reason. So I'm still gonna put it in C tier just because some of these rides are so good. But
Hmm.
yeah, the next one we have is Dudley Do Right's Rips Off Falls.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that in B tier.
Alrighty,
It's possibly one of the best log flumes I've done. My favorite log flume of all time is still over at Disneyland Splash Mountain because that is just a legendary experience. But also, Deli Donuts from Self Falls is fun with the drop, but you get a little too soaked on it.
that's fair. I have not ridden this. It's a ride I'm very intrigued to ride. Being a fan of Splash Mountain, seeing kind of like this is sort of Universal's weird version of it, I suppose. So
It's that ride on crack.
yeah, so I'm pretty curious to check it out. Wow, we have a this list was not formatted well in terms of the balance of it. So there's just
Mhm.
gonna be a bunch of run of rides that I've never done, but you've done.
Because
But
like
next,
one I don't see on the list is Velocicoaster, which we all know that be S tier.
yeah, I tried to make it relatively random, so that's why.
Mhm.
But the next one we have is Flight of Passage.
To me, I know some people might not agree. I'm putting that S tier.
Oh, I
Like
thought you
it's
were gonna put it in A because I'm like some
no.
people were gonna kill you if you
Some
didn't.
some people think it's overrated. Like I do know that. Some of my coworkers think it's like meh. Me, top tier. That thing is incredible.
I'm
And I was hyping up Chris and Maritime Thrills over there like about it because he was over at Animal Kingdom today, and so I just kept texting him, "Hey, you better do this. Flight Passage is worth it."
did he do it or did he respond or have you
Oh,
not heard
he
from him
did.
yet?
He did. He said it was like not 90 minutes.
Uh, but did he enjoy it at least, or do you know?
I'm not exactly sure. I'm sure he would have loved it.
The interesting thing with it is, and I know there's differences, but it's somewhat similar to Soren, which is
Mhm.
not one of my personal favorites. I know there's a ton of differences, but that I don't know the exact details of. But I don't know if I'll be the biggest fan of it, but it looks really cool, so have to check it
It's
out.
better riding it in person than it is like watching a video.
I haven't even watched a video of it, but I don't even know why I would. But yeah. Next we have Expedition Everest. Where do you rank it?
I gotta give it to A tier. As a coaster, I think it's good for a roller coaster, but as an experience, one of the best in the world. That mountain, like it's better riding it in person than it is watching a video of it. Like that mountain is incredible. Like it's one of the best like mountains visually, and then riding it, I mean, it tells a story, and it just looks beautiful. The queue line's even amazing, and also it's one of the rides that you can just do over and over again because it usually never gets that long of a wait.
Huh, interesting. I mean, I guess at this point it's been there a while, so perhaps it's not as popular as before, and I guess Avatar exists too, so
I think it is probably the easiest roller coaster to ride on Walt Disney World property because also has a very high like volume. Because the ops, I think Everest's ops are some of the best in the entire world.
I mean, yeah, that's good to hear for sure. And another coaster that I'm like really excited to check out when I get the chance. The next ride we have is
Oh my gosh.
Most of these were random. I intentionally picked this one just because I'm like, we had to have it on here. So,
Oh my gosh.
Journey into Imagination with Figment at Epcot.
Alrighty, so overall, like I'm giving this I'm giving it getting a C tier. But experience wise, like ride wise, it is so F tier, but I'm still giving it a C tier because you ride it for the experience, not the quality. And I think it is one of the most hilarious attractions to ever exist in the entire planet. Especially the picture you chose for that thing. Like that part alone is just flat out hilarious.
Minnesota throws. Wait, did he say S tier for this thing? Or was that for the previous one? I think it might be for this.
It could be.
For the memes, I'm not gonna put it in A, but for the memes, I'll put it in B tier. Why not?
Yeah,
Higher, why not?
Why not? Why not? You ride for the memes. It's so good, especially like it's so good when the whole Disney community makes memes about that entire attraction.
Yeah, for sure.
And the coaster community, like.
Oh, he said it was for Expedition. He had it in S. Oh, okay. Well, all right. I'll switch. I'll switch. I mean, we're still doing it. Whatever. I haven't ridden it, but in my heart, it's S tier. So
yeah,
we're putting
and
it in
me and
B
Marina
tier.
FaceTime each other every time we both do Figment.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Story.
The next one we have is Frozen Ever After, also at Epcot actually. So
honestly, I give that an A tier.
Wow. Okay. I know you said you liked it earlier.
It's actually really good. It's actually a pretty good ride. What I love about it is the lighting and everything. Like the lighting, the animatronics, all that, it just blends in so well together. Like as much as I miss Maelstrom, that ride is a worthy replacement.
I'll have to check it out. That's another one. We'll see what I think. I'm not the biggest fan of the movies. I don't dislike the first one, but the second one I wasn't a fan of. So
like A tier, like I'd say probably middle A tier, like Expedition Everest. That's probably high A tier for me. I know you put it in S tier, but for me that's an A tier.
Yeah,
but why not?
But we had someone who said S, so why not? Next we have the picture came out horrible for this, unfortunately, but it's Haunted Mansion, specifically at I don't know what the differences are, so I'll still give my opinion on it. But this is I had the Magic Kingdom one for this, but
okay, yeah, that's the one I ride more often. I'll give it A tier.
I'm actually much less of a fan of this than most. I would put this in B.
Really?
Yeah, my last ride on it was. I'm not the biggest fan of the thing, to be honest. I think it's really overrated.
Are you crazy?
I understand why people like it. It's a classic, but we'll put it in A tier because I think that makes a little more sense. And yeah, I am a bit insane there, but there you go.
It's a classic. It's high A tier too. Like it is high A tier. That's a crime against humanity, Carrick.
I mean, my last ride on it was not good, but I will say that we like broke down like 3 times on it before the cycle ended, so that
It
didn't
always does
exactly
that, but
help.
it's just because some guests who might have trouble getting on.
It's so frustrating though. I mean, I just and I was unfortunately my friend wasn't able to experience it because they were doing the holiday overlay for it, like in progress of doing it. So yeah, but oh well. The next ride we have is It's a Small World. At
It's a small world
I mean,
after
no, sorry.
all. We'll be going
I
in
mean, what are your
C
thoughts?
tier.
What are your? I have this in F. I guess
I
it gets
mean,
in D
was
tier.
this the Disneyland version or Disney
It's
World?
the Disneyland version, I
Okay,
guess.
I never did that one. I mean,
Eh,
but we could just put a D tier. It just doesn't do anything for me.
yeah, it's pretty
If you
just
know Costa
whatever.
or Taylor Bybee or Dakota makes fun of it, you know it's a meme-worthy ride.
The next ride we have is Cat in the Hat at Islands of Adventure. Your thoughts?
That's the Figment ride of Universal. I'll give it C tier.
All right, that's pretty
It's a fun
simple.
ride. It's a cute ride. It's good to do as like a filler attraction, but it's so meme worthy.
Yeah. The next one we have is Hulk at Islands of Adventure.
That is a tough one, honestly. That's a tough one to predict. Because, okay, my instincts are telling me S tier, but I'm gonna have to say A tier.
All right.
Because here's the thing, Incredible Hulk, like it's super high A tier, like higher A tier than Expedition Everest, but the thing is, like, it just if it doesn't, it's not like super unique. While it's unique, it's not like doesn't have as much character or personality as Hagrid's or Velocicoaster. Like those two are absolute S tier material.
And yet somehow neither of them made it here, which
It's
is
it's
unfortunate.
fine. It's fine. We know both of those have been made S tier. But Hulk, I will say, of the whole list, is the most intense ride. Sorry, Red
Yeah,
Rocket fans.
which that is on here, but we'll get to that in a bit. Next we have is King Kong. What is it? King Kong Reign of Kong. Is that what
Skull
it's
and
called?
Raycon.
Or Skull Island? Yeah, Skull Island Reign of Kong. Where do you put it?
I'd say B tier. I'd
All
say B
right.
tier. I mean, originally I would have said like D tier, F tier, but Kong has really started to grow on me. Like I think it's actually a pretty good ride.
Yeah, I've heard mixed things on it, but good to hear a more positive sort of
Yeah,
review
I
of
think
it.
it's just the theming is better. It's better than Fast and Furious Supercharged. That thing is absolute F tier material.
I wish that had made it in here.
All right.
Next, we have Radiator Springs Racers. I'm full S here. I don't know if you're there, but
Mm. Ooh.
what?
I mean, this is so tricky. It's so tricky. It's hard. Uh,
Where are you between? I'm curious. Like if you might be lower on this than I expect, but
Ooh, it's so tough because I really like. Okay, I'm gonna say S tier, but I
okay.
also it's low S tier because like I think ooh, it is S tier, but at the same time I think it's a little overrated.
That's fair.
It's still a good ride, but I mean it's not as like I mean it's what makes it so good is the whole like experience. Not thinking about it, it's probably S tier.
All right.
But my
The
favorite
next.
ride in all of Disneyland is still Indiana Jones.
Oh yeah, mine too.
That's
Which
incredible.
also didn't make it on here, huh?
Rip.
But yeah. Next we have Remy's Ratatouille Adventure at Epcot.
Okay, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. I will put that in very high B tier, but also very low A tier. I'll put very low A tier because I think it's a quality attraction. It's cute, but I don't think it's anything mind blowing. But I think it's worthy enough to where I'll pass B tier because I do like the technology of Remy's. And also the plaza Remy sits in is so gorgeous. Like I know you've never been to Epcot, Carrick, but that area is like that whole park is just so beautiful. If anyone's been to Epcot, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I've heard it's like just amazing to walk around, um,
Mhm.
just from that perspective. But they also have obviously some really cool attractions, and I've heard some really good food options depending on what you get. So that's definitely cool. And Ratatouille is my favorite animated film, so I got to check it out at some point, right?
Mhm.
So yeah. Next, we have Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run.
This is another underrated gem of uh
Ooh.
Disney. I'm gonna say S tier.
Oh man, I'm like at a high B tier for this one. So
This is
we'll put
this
an A.
Yeah, Smuggler's Run I think is one of the most like underappreciated attractions. Like I
I've
think
done. Oh wait, no, sorry, you go.
it doesn't get enough attention. Like it gets so overshadowed by Rise of the Resistance where people forget about Smuggler's Run. But the fact that you're flying the Millennium Falcon and how interactive it is, it's worth it.
I will say I have done all the positions. Some way, somehow. I haven't even been that many. I've only been to Disneyland twice since this thing opened, and I've done it. So, um, and I will say, if you're like, I definitely think the driving, like the pilot position, is best. I mean, but I think most people would say that. Um, uh, if you're, and then I would probably say that's an A tier ride, and then the other ones are like more like B. So that's kind of where I'm at on it. Next, we have Space Mountain
That's
at Magic Kingdom.
that's A tier.
Alrighty.
For me, that is an A tier. That's a great coaster. It's higher than Remy's for me in
Alright.
Haunted Mansion. Like that ride's awesome. That's a classic. I mean, the ejector airtime is amazing. I love how you're in the dark. It's a fun ride.
Alright. And so I imagine we're probably in agreement with Space Mountain at Disneyland. I have this as like a high A tier.
I put A tier as well.
Alright. Oh, yeah, there we go. Alright. Next, we have Star Tours, which is basically the same outside of the queue at both of them, as far as I'm aware.
Baseball's the ride. That's
But
why I call him an Instagram story.
yeah,
Because why not? It's the one ride. I mean, when Galaxy's Edge exists. But Star Tours, I will give it a B tier because it's a fun ride. I mean, the fact that you get there's like I think over 70 different ride combinations. If you guys did not know that,
there's a bunch, and I'm
yeah, it's
also in
crazy.
agreement. It's B for me.
And from all the movies too, like all the Star Wars movies.
It's very good, and some people have talked about that they should replace it. I really don't know with what you would replace it with because if you have to use the same ride technology, then honestly, I don't think anything's going to be as good because of the amount of combinations this ride has. And there's not really a ton else I can see that you could do with it, but I'm really a fan of it, and I'm happy to see that it seems to be here for the long haul as they're planning to add even more planets apparently. So, with the new shows and whatnot, so I'm happy to see that. Alrighty, the next one we have is Test Track at Epcot.
Test Track, I'm gonna give that an A tier. Definitely not as good as Radiator Springs Racers. That's a Test Track is a fun ride, but I think it's definitely like once you've ridden Radiator Springs Racers, Test Track feels like just doesn't feel anything special. It's a great ride at Epcot, but it's not as good as Radiator Springs.
That's fair.
But
I am not.
also, I was one who did the original version of Test Track when it was General Motors, and that version was better.
I
I'm
think
not
I've
saying
heard
that the
that.
new version sucks. It's a great ride, but Test Track's fun, but it's not like mind blowing or anything.
That's fair.
Although if you do Top Thrill Dragster at night, it feels like Top Thrill Dragster for no reason.
Hmm.
It's
Interesting.
weird.
Next, we have Transformers the ride. Basically, I think almost it's mostly the same in both places.
Yeah,
So,
I have
um,
that as an A tier.
I have it as a low A tier, so I will agree.
Team Wars the ride is awesome. Don't get me wrong, that is an awesome ride.
Yeah, it was surprisingly good the first time I rode it because I could care less about the Transformers franchise, but the actual ride is quite good, so I will say that.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we have Slinky Dog Dash at Disney's Hollywood Studios.
I'm gonna give that a very low B tier. Because Slinky Dog Dash, it's a cute coaster. I enjoy it, but it's not anything like that will blow your mind or anything. But it's fun. It's the perfect coaster for all families to enjoy.
Yeah, and Minnesota Thrill says A or B tier, so we'll
For Slinky Dog.
we'll
Oh
keep
yeah,
it
no, I
in B
see.
then.
Yeah,
Hollywood's Rip Ride Rocket is next at
yeah, I would
Universal
give it
Studios
a B
Florida.
tier. That's a B tier.
Ooh,
Rip Ride Rocket, I think it's a little bit overrated, but it's still a fun coaster. I just think it's outdated and the coaster is really rough, but it still has some enjoyable airtime.
Minnesota Thrill says A tier, so I'll kind of slide it up higher
Yeah, that's
just to be
fine.
nice. Um, and then the next ride we have is, despite it being in my backyard almost, I have not ridden it, but you have Secret Life of Pets off the
Yeah, I was
leash.
trying to recognize what that one was, but Secret Life of Pets. Oh, I'm trying to remember. That was. I'll give that. I'll give it a B tier.
All
Secret Life
right.
of Pets was actually, I think, a pretty enjoyable ride, and I hope we get that ride in Florida.
Yeah, it seems pretty. I haven't looked at a video, but I've heard mostly good things about it. I can only hope it's better than the movies because I'm not the biggest fan of them. But yeah, it looks solid. So,
Minnesota Thrill said a lot of black zones. Well, if you want to learn more about black zones, then watch El Toro Ryan's videos.
yep. Another former guest, so there you go.
That's right.
And then our last coaster we have is Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. I do have the Magic Kingdom version. I don't
I think that
know.
one's better.
I'm still gonna give my opinion from the Disneyland
Mhm.
version just because I'd put it in B.
I
Um,
honestly have very high, like sorry, very low A tier.
okay. Eh,
But I
I,
mean, I'm fine with low B tier too.
we'll put it in high B just to.
Yeah, high
Okay,
B.
no Minnesota Thrills put it in A tier, so
Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
we're
because
going
it's a
sticking with that.
classic. Although I
Uh,
did have Big Thunder or Rip Ride Rocket over Big Thunder Mountain Road in my rankings, but actually I'd move Rocket up to A tier. But I mean, yeah, you can move Rocket up to A tier. Just thinking about it, it's
Man,
but
A
very
tier
low
is loaded.
because these are some good rides, but not outstanding.
Yeah, I guess the takeaway from this is, I mean, the ride lineups at these parks are incredibly
Mhm.
strong. So there
Yeah,
you
no
go.
rides in the F tier. Just it's a Small World in D tier.
Yeah, I mean, if it were my decision, it'd be an F, but but yeah, and even it's I have ridden one worse dark ride, so I will say that, or one more dark ride I dislike more. Boo Blasters at Kings Island because all the targets, like, dude, over half the targets were broken. It was so bad. It
That's
was actually terrible.
because it was like that at Carowinds when I did, but King's Dominions was much better.
Yeah, I've heard the other King's Dominions is one of the better ones. King's Islands was like really bad in my experience.
Mm-hmm.
I did like Gobbler Getaway though, which is by the same manufacturer, so
Yeah,
I don't
what I was
dislike the
trying to figure out
rides.
what Gobbler Getaway was.
It's the shooting dark ride. So yeah,
Mm.
that's what it is. But anyways, there is our tier list, and that's gonna wrap it up for that. And we'll move on to our final segment before the end of stream Q&A. So I once again accidentally exited from this thing. You would have thought I just did an episode a few days ago. Like, come on, I gotta get this stuff
Mm.
all nailed down, but I guess not. All right, so topics to discuss will be our final segment before the final Q&A. And so these are some questions or topics that I have for Zach specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And my first question is, what do you do, or what is your role as a Disney cast member, and what has been one of your favorite aspects of working at Disney World?
All right, so right now my current role is I work food service over at Hollywood Studios in the Sunset Ranch Market, which is like a little food market area right by Tower Terror and Rock and Roller Coaster. So if you want to know where I make magic, it's over there. But one day I'm definitely going to go and transfer to maybe a different location as well, and maybe transfer throughout my career at Walt Disney World. Because I could also maybe one day I'll be at merchandise, attractions, VIP tours, photography. You never know. There's just so many roles at Walt Disney World that I could be really like a part of. And I feel like I'd be great. And my favorite aspect of working at Walt Disney World is honestly making making the vacations even more magical for all the guests that enter the parks. Because another thing as well is also if you guys don't know, is if you go into the My Disney Experience app, you can even give out cast compliments to some cast members that maybe might have made your days even more magical. Like I've gotten quite a few of them as well, which I mean, if any of you guys are watching, then thank you guys. It means a lot. I'm glad I can make your vacations even more magical. But yeah, like the thing that what my favorite aspect is just seeing how happy the guests are and to see them just having a good time.
That's definitely, I mean, that's about as good of a motivation as you can have, and so that's really cool to
Mhm.
hear that you have that. And I wasn't even aware of the functionality of that app. I don't know if it's the same one, but I've used something similar at Disneyland. I didn't know it had that functionality, so I'll
It's pretty
definitely
much
have
the
to keep.
same as hold on. It's pretty much the same as like Disneyland as well.
Oh,
I mean,
okay,
it's got like all the wait times and everything. It's probably still got like
okay.
Genie Plus. I mean, you got like all the wait times right now. And then also like if you go around here, cast compliments will be over here. So if I wanted to compliment, let's say Joe, for instance, which Joe, who's been a guest on here in the past, he was part of On the Hunt. He is also a Disney cast member. He works food service as well, but over at Epcot, over at Connections. And yeah, so if I wanted to give Joe a compliment, I could. And I was thinking about doing that. I just cannot remember what his location, like where he's from. So,
Uh, huh,
so,
interesting.
mm-hmm. So yeah.
But yeah, that's I didn't know that the apps had those functionalities, so that's pretty cool. And if you're wondering why, for those of you watching, why I didn't mention Joe as a cast member, he wasn't at the time of the stream. So this is the first
He,
time we've had a current cast member on.
he
So
became a cast member in May.
yeah,
He's
after the
seasonal right
stream.
now, and right now I'm a part time. But
All
also
right.
for anyone who's also like thinking maybe wanting to do the Disney College program as well, which is like a little internship. I work with a lot of people who are part of that program, and they say it's fantastic. I mean, you get to meet a lot of people, get to work at the most magical place on earth. It's a good time.
Yeah, it sounds like a really cool thing to get into if you're dedicated enough. I need to talk to my family member actually knows an Imagineer, and
I do too.
I've never talked to him. He's traveled to like the Asian Disney parks and work on stuff and whatnot. He's aware of the channel, but I've never talked to the guy, so I need to do that
Mhm.
at some point. Um, but
And also, I just lost my train of thought for a minute. I literally lost my train of thought because I was gonna say something as well. Um,
you'll probably get it. We can circle back to it if you get it back.
mhm.
But it seems like a really cool sort of opportunity to have, just working there, and then I'm sure the college program's also really good. So really cool to hear about that.
Mhm. Like I never did a college program, but like I have a lot of a lot of my coworkers were part of that and are currently part of that too. Like I still keep in touch with some of the people I used to work with whose programs have ended.
Ah, okay, that's nice. And yeah, you get to meet a lot of people that you can uh, like know for a long time. So that's obviously another really
Mhm.
good thing. Alrighty, so if you have anything else to add on to the first topic or first question, you can, and if not, we'll move on to the second one. Got anything?
Oh, I'm just looking at the comments right now.
Ah, okay. No, you're totally cool. Let's see.
Any secrets about Disney? Well, I unfortunately cannot reveal any of that because I don't want to ruin the magic for you guys, and also can get in trouble if I do that. So I do not want to ruin any of the magic for you guys. So we will not be talking about anything secret
Yeah, I saw that earlier. I'm like, yeah, that you're not gonna get that. So
because I want to keep my job. I know, like, if you were in the same situation, you want to keep your job as well.
I know there is a channel. I don't watch him a ton, but I know he was a former cast member, Sir Willow. So
I never heard of him.
he has some kind of good videos about that stuff. So I haven't watched him in a while, but he's got some good stuff there. So he seems like a pretty cool guy actually.
Hmm.
So yeah. We'll move on to our second thing, which is about you kind of having pretty much lived in Orlando for your entire life. So, my question was, what's it kind of been like to see parks grow, change, and kind of receive or lose major attractions? What has it kind of been like to get to kind of see everything from sort of a local perspective?
Yes. So like for me, like it's not just me, but a lot of people from Orlando have like like a lot of heart and passionate towards like some of the attractions as well. I know Hunter is probably the same way as well. But like Disney, for instance, it's weird to see like Magic Kingdom because when I was a kid, like where Barnstorm is, all that was just Mickey's Toontown,
Hmm.
and then where like Seven Doors Mine Train and all that was just like kind of a field or a backstage area when I was a kid, and now it's there. And then you got Epcot, which I mean that's had a lot of change as well, especially with Guardians. That used to be Alan's Energy Adventure, which is a great ride. And then also like in the center of Epcot, like they used to have the fountains. Which fun fact, if you've ever watched Boy Meets World, they actually filmed something over there.
Hmm. That's cool.
And then yeah, like it's like it was a really cool like they filmed a whole episode in Disney World, which was awesome. If you guys haven't watched Boy Meets World, it's a great classic show from the '90s. That's a great show. And then like Hollywood Studios, that is definitely I feel like I've seen the most change, especially with Galaxy's Edge and Toy Story Land. Because when I was a kid, much younger, that was like the whole studio backlot tour, Streets of America, the Great Movie Ride. That was the classic MGM Studios, which I do miss those days. But I mean, Galaxy's Edge and Toy Story Land are both fantastic areas. And then Animal Kingdom, like I haven't seen much change over there. The only one that I can really know is like Pandora. But Animal Kingdom, I feel like has been always been the same since I was a kid. And then like Universal, I mean, Islands of Adventure has mostly been the same, but like Harry Potter, that changed the whole game of like themed areas as we know. Especially when Dueling Dragons closed, they added Hagrid's. Like that was just a mind blowing addition. But it sucked because then we had to sacrifice an already amazing attraction like Dueling Dragons. And studios, same way, like when they removed Jaws, they had Diagon Alley. That was all different. And fun fact as well, like I don't really remember this much, but if you remember where Blue Man Group is, like or was now, because that's just an abandoned studio. That used to be where they had Nickelodeon.
Hmm. Interesting.
And yeah, so they had a whole Nickelodeon tour there. And then SeaWorld Orlando, I mean, that definitely, I mean, that definitely has changed from when I was a kid because that used to be more animal based. But then when the Blackfish controversy stirred in, like then SeaWorld, like they knew what they were doing. And so then they changed a lot of their stuff. They ended the orca breeding program, which I think was a good move with SeaWorld. And they've started to focus more on roller coasters. And I feel like that is a great direction what SeaWorld's going in.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Um, it's really cool that you've gotten to experience some of these changes. I guess with Universal Hollywood, even though I'm not local, I kind of saw it. I went before Harry Potter and then after. And that, like, almost, like, it changed my whole opinion of the park because I felt like the park was just, like, there wasn't enough to do to justify more than, like, a half day there. But now with the Harry Potter area, it was like, oh, okay, now there's a
Mhm.
decent more to do. Even if it's just one ride, you have like the whole experience of like, getting the wand and all that. If you're going for the first time, obviously. And they've added a few other things, but
Yeah, it's kind of like with Animal Kingdom. Animal Kingdom has always been a half day park. I feel like it still kind of is, but it definitely is more of a like full day park now since they've added Pandora, which is an incredible area.
yeah, I mean, that I could totally see something like that too because Animal Kingdom, they didn't really have that big of a ride lineup.
And
Um,
they still don't, but that area is
yeah,
the park's just beautiful.
for sure. So that's pretty cool to hear about for sure. And SeaWorld, that's I have San Diego, right? I haven't seen it recently, but I went before Manta was a thing. I went after Manta was a thing, and when Electric Eel was being constructed. And I already could tell I'm like, it's kind of crazy because I went a few times when they didn't even have Manta, and now they're getting all these coasters. So I also am
Yeah,
kind of like, it's crazy.
like Kraken, that was been there. Like that was built before I was born. And then like when I remember before Manta, like our Manta was there, that was just an area of flamingos and everything.
Hmm.
Like they didn't like the only coaster, only true coaster they have is Kraken. So yeah, it's weird how they changed it over the years.
Yeah, it is pretty interesting for sure. So I think that was pretty cool to go into. So appreciate your answer there. Um,
Mhm.
and if you have any additional things to add, like I guess yeah, now's the
Mhm.
time.
Like so what this question's saying, like for me, what like my answer is showing is that, change is good for these parks because you never want to like have like the same thing like this the whole time. Like Magic Kingdom, like they haven't really changed much. Like they still kept all the iconic classic attractions, but that's different because those are iconic. And they want to keep those attractions running for many years to come. Maybe update them in a way as well. But then like Hollywood Studios, like my hospitality professor last semester actually talked to us about this. Is that he actually was talking to some people saying the Hollywood Studios was their favorite part because that park never changed. But the park felt pretty outdated, I feel like then. And then they
Hmm.
added Galaxy's Edge, Toy Story Land. It just changed the entire game of that park.
Huh. Yeah, that is
Like
interesting.
So I feel like it's good to see like the Orlando parks change over time, have a perspective from the past versus now, and what kind of perspective I feel like the parks will have like in the future. Because I can even see like Animal Kingdom, for instance, getting a Black Panther themed area. That's what I'd love to see there.
Yeah, that might be able to fit in depending on how they are able to incorporate that.
Hmm.
Definitely could you like especially if like how nature based they are, that definitely could be pretty cool if they decided to do it.
And I
So,
also loved a video that Christian from Theme Park Horizons actually posted of Universal Studios Florida's future, which he went in depth of like see what they can do because Universal Studios Florida is another park that desperately needs an update, like especially with the Simpsons and all that. So I think that park will also get a pretty good transformation in the future.
yeah, I think it's more a question of when, not if, because I just wonder, it does seem like that park's been sort of neglected over the last several years because like Islands of Adventure has been getting most of the cool stuff, Hagrid's Velocicoaster, and
And the whole Wizarding World of Harry Potter and
yeah, I mean the studios did get Diagon Alley, so
yeah.
whatever that for whatever that's worth, but it does feel
Mhm.
like they are kind of
Like
behind
and
for sure.
Transformers in a way too. I feel like is a great addition.
Yeah, I don't remember. I guess that probably would have come after Wizarding World in Florida, if I am
It
correct. I'm
did,
not
yeah.
sure.
2013.
That's so weird because in Hollywood, Transformers existed before our Harry Potter area, so that like
Mhm.
kind
That
of
was
always throws
2012.
me for a loop. So, yeah,
Mhm.
but yeah, that's pretty cool to hear. Our last thing I have is a question that I really should. I don't know why I stopped asking people this. I know it's like not a super guest specific question, but it's a good one. So I will try to get into this a little more for future guests. But what
Mhm.
inspired you to make your YouTube channel, and what has been sort of one of your favorite aspects of being a content creator?
So that is an amazing question. Like what inspired for me to make my YouTube channel was honestly Taylor Bybee. Like Taylor Bybee was my inspiration. And like I know it's a lot of chaos going on with that with what's over there, but like like he inspired me to be a coaster enthusiast and to count all my credits, everything, and just to like share my experiences with you guys. I just feel like that was always something I always wanted to do, but it wasn't just him. It was also like a bunch of other YouTubers. Like one YouTube channel that me and my sister watched was you might know them, but Wasabi Productions. Believe it or not, like Roy and
Interesting.
Alex. Like me and my sister, we'd always binge watch like their channel. Same with like Good Mythical Morning.
Oh yeah,
And I was
yep.
like,
Still
I
watch
want to be
them.
a content creator. Oh, I watch them too. Good Mythical Morning. They're great. They're great people. Red and Link. My whole family watches them. But
Same.
and also like on Instagram, like I've been inspired by a bunch of like photographers as well. And like when one summer, like when my account blew up, like when I started getting a bigger following, I've just felt like I felt appreciated. Well, sorry, I can't speak, but yeah, I just feel like that being a content creator was a gift that I was given. And I'm glad that I've been able to share my talents and all that. And I'm glad that I've been also able like to develop a big fan base as well. Like I know I only have like 500 subscribers on YouTube, which I don't do it for like clout or anything. I know a lot of people, especially on TikTok, clout chasers. I have a
Yeah.
TikTok as well, which I'm a little inconsistent on, but I like doing it because it's fun, especially live streams. Like live streams, I don't. It's not like an attention based thing or anything like that. It's just good old fashioned fun. And when I started to see a lot of people really liking those live streams, I felt like it was something that I was like, just gotta keep doing them. And I'm not perfect. No one's perfect. There's always something that I'm gonna need to improve on, especially like one thing I feel like I should try my channel soon are Instagram Reels, which have been very popular lately. And I feel like it'd be fun to do.
Hmm. That might be an interesting direction to go in. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely something to consider. And for your live streams, I'm definitely a fan of them. So keep them going. I
Mm-hmm.
definitely will pound the table for that. And definitely will say, like, if you don't follow Zach on Instagram, Theme Park Guy Productions, or YouTube either, just follow both of them for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
And then
that's. Oh wait, no,
And
sorry,
then
you go.
also, like with my two other accounts, the Disney Zach and then Flock Fan, which I just started my football account. That is just brand new. And Disney Zach is also new too, which I'm not as consistent on those as I am with Theme Park Guy Productions. But I still do those just for fun to just capture my adventures.
Hey, it
Like
lasted longer than football hours, so that's pretty good.
football. Oh, I forgot.
Yeah, that kind of.
Honestly, that's what inspired me to start my football account.
Hey, there's a good thing for it.
And NFL memes in a way, just because like if there's anything like football related that just comes up that I want to make fun of, just do it on my football account.
Hey, so yeah, there you go. That's pretty sick, pretty cool.
But yeah, like Theme Park Guy Productions, like fun fact, how my name came into play is like with Theme Park Guy, that is actually started off as a Minecraft name.
Ah, there you
Like
go.
and then Productions was Wasabi Productions.
Pretty
So I
good.
was like, oh, I gotta combine those together. Like when I made my YouTube channel back in March of 2017. And like I started off a little more like I felt like my followers were a little more local then, like people from my school, my church, at my family. But then when it started to like gain towards like you guys, I just shows that I have a spot here in the community.
Hey, and that's good that you kind of had a following with your locals first. I actually kind of avoided that. I was kind of like, I'm gonna see how this
You get to
does. But yeah, no, but I think that's definitely the better route to go. I was a little worried because I started in high school and I was like, I don't know if people are gonna be like if they like know I'm starting a channel that has like essentially no following. So I like kept
Mhm.
it hidden until I got to 100 subs, and I'm like, oh okay, see guys, I'm legit, and there we go.
Yeah, I
And
feel like we
that
all
was
have
how
that
I
moment.
handled
I feel like we all have that
that.
like clutch moment. We were like 100 subscriber. Like at 100 subscribers. And like, oh my gosh, I'm so famous. Like, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and but surprisingly, the people at school and my friends at school and my friends in general were more like supportive of it than I had anticipated. So that was
Yeah,
definitely a nice surprise. But
like I was very popular in high school, middle school, which might sound weird, but a lot of people from my school watched my content and they all loved it. And so it's something that I just wanted to keep going.
yeah, I mean that
Even
that's
like,
pretty cool.
and now my coworkers are watching it. My leader, like they all love my content, so I just feel like it'll be something fun to do like continuously. My videos might still be the same. Like I know like one thing I'm trying to debate on is like changing some content, like not just vlogs, but also like countdowns and all that, which I try to, but sometimes I just don't have the mentality to make those. Like, so this can be a little exhausting to make, but I'm trying to like vlogs. Those things are just, it's just so much fun to make. It's just good old fun, just filming with you and the camera. Like that's kind of like my mentality with my YouTube channel. But then
And
also like my coast reviews, I haven't done those in a while. But do you have Vlog Ride by any chance?
do I know who?
Like, do you have Vlog Ride?
Oh, Log Ride. Yeah, the app.
Yeah,
Yes, I haven't updated in a while, but yeah, I have it.
I've started reviewing every roller coaster I've done on here, or all
Oh,
the major
wow.
ones at least, and so all my reviews are there.
That's cool.
So yeah, that's just kind of stuff that I do, and one of my favorite aspects of being a creator.
I also like that you mentioned it wasn't just like coaster YouTubers, but also other channels such as I don't know what their content is for Wasabi Productions, but I'm very familiar with Good Mythical Morning, so it's kind of cool to hear that there were
They do
others
just
out there who
challenges and
inspired you.
stuff.
Ah, okay, that sounds cool.
And then if you guys know Rolanda and Richard, that was like a trend back in the early 2010s.
Hmm.
Like that blew up. It was like some skits and stuff. It was really funny.
Huh. Interesting. I probably have seen their stuff somewhere, and I don't know the channel name, but I'll see it and be like, oh, okay, yeah, I remember that. So, yeah, that's pretty cool, and I mean, very good answer, pretty in depth. So I really appreciate it.
Mhm.
All right, so I guess with that being said, we're gonna go into our end of stream Q&A, and that's gonna be the plan. Went a little longer than I had anticipated, but not too bad. So,
Just sorry if I'm a little long in my answers.
oh no, you're good. You're good.
Like there's a lot that I
Um,
just like to discuss about. It might be TMI, but I just have fun with it.
oh yeah, for sure. No, it's just like for me, I more try to get it lower for like guest sake, just because I know, uh, you
Minnesota
know,
Thrills asked, "What is my log ride?" It's Theme Park Guy Productions.
there you go. So
There should be an underscore on there. Let me check real quick. Or if it's just Theme Park Guy Productions. No, it's just Theme Park Guy Productions. I don't know if you can see.
hold up, I can do something real quick. Or
And yeah, you already got the follow. There we go. Yeah, you
okay.
already
Well,
got the
that was
follow.
pretty simple. There you
That was
go.
it. There you go, Minnesota Thrills. Thank you. I'm gonna go follow you too.
Already nice. I don't like I said I haven't updated it, but I I have it. So
The part that confuses me is how many times you've done a certain roller coaster, which I don't even know how many times I've done every ride.
YouTube was launched when you were in high school. Man,
Oh
that's
wow!
a
Hey
trip.
Evan, what's up? I know
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
Coaster.
He I don't know if you heard or saw in my story, but and I've already mentioned this on the stream a few times. So, uh, but I actually Coaster Evan saw me at Kings Island when I was on the Eiffel Tower. He was the first person to ever recognize me at a park, and he was really cool. I
Mhm.
got to see him then. We got to talk a little bit, and we also saw each other on Beast Night rides. He was heading out of
I know
the queue while I was waiting, and we both agreed the night rides were insane, which they were. So,
because I know he
um,
responds to my stories too, so I really appreciate it, Coaster Evan. Thank you a lot. If you ever see me, don't be afraid to say hi. I don't bite.
yeah, for sure. And I'll say the same there. That if you ever see me at a park, don't be afraid to say hello. I appreciate it. So. That was a really cool experience, and make sure to follow Coaster Evan on Instagram if you haven't. So
Because I've definitely been
make sure to do
recognized at
that.
parks too. But like
Ye-
just like friends recognizing me, like Adam Torres, he's like friends with like the Coaster Idiots. Like he
Okay.
recognized me at Cedar Point.
Nice.
He's a really funny dude.
Yeah, that's pretty
He's
cool.
also friends with Taylor Bybee, so like
There you go. Um, what's mine? I don't know what mine is for log ride. It's probably Coaster Hour. I'd have to guess. I haven't looked at it in a while, so we'll I I'll I'll update
I'll
on
just take
that.
over. Use the bathroom real quick.
Alrighty, yeah, I'll do that real quick. Alrighty, so I'm gonna take over the stream for a little bit, just do Q&A, and then Zach will come back, and any questions that you have for both of us will be answered. But I guess I'll take over. Yeah, we'll talk about I don't honestly. I'll ask Zach about it when he comes back. I'm not gonna bet on the Falcons to win the game because they're not. They're just not gonna be good this season. But maybe we can do like a over under sort of thing. I might be more willing to do that because I know Atlanta's gonna lose. It's just how much would they lose by is sort of the question. So that's kind of funny. All right, Zach is back.
So what was the question? I heard you said that you saving a question for me.
There was a question about if we were gonna have a bet. I said if we did one, it'd have to be an over under. There's no way I'd bet on the Falcons to win. Where's my?
You know this team's gonna win.
Where's my thing?
Go Ravens. Yes, sir. Go Baltimore.
I got this. Atlanta Falcons rise up. There we go.
I'm surprised there's no on the thing.
Very nice.
I saw like blowing leads a lot.
Yeah, not last season though. They were actually they won the close games.
Yeah, they won 7 games. That's pretty surprising.
Well, not only that, but they actually had a winning record in like what was it? Like one score games. In one score games.
Oh.
Because they got most of their losses they got blown out. But in one score games they had a winning record.
That's actually pretty good, honestly.
Yeah, sort of.
Let's see the next one.
Gotta head out for now, but for the Q&A, do you think any of the American Disney parks will ever build another non-IPE ticket attraction?
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here, Civilian Satellite. I hope you have a great night. And for me, I mean, maybe, honestly. I mean, we'll see. I know that Disney has not built a non-IP attraction since Expedition Everest, which was in 2006. But, I mean, you never know. I mean, we could see something pretty mind-blowing happen. Like, if there's one spot that I could see a potential non-IP attraction being built would be over at Epcot somewhere. But, I mean, I don't mind all the IP attractions or anything like that, but like, I mean, like I don't mind them. So if it never happens again, like I wouldn't mind it. But if I choose which park would get an non-IP attraction, would be Epcot.
I have a way I want to word this, but I want to be really careful with how I word it. But basically, if there's a certain cheapskate up there at the top, I really don't think we're gonna be seeing another non-IPE ticket attraction. So, I think if the guy up top is still the guy, then I don't think we're gonna see it for a while. So, it seems like IP is sort of the route to go right now. Heck, even at like Tokyo Disney Sea and stuff, where you usually see that, they're even doing IP stuff. Although they did get a Soarin', so for whatever that's
Universal is also doing the same thing too.
Yeah, it's not just Disney, but
it's like a lot of people give Disney crap for that, but like you realize Universal is doing the same thing, and no one cares about the crap at like Universal. So I feel like the mentality is a little ridiculous, honestly. Like I understand if your favorite attraction closes, but like I think the replacements, even if it's IP based, they're great replacements at both Disney and Universal.
Yeah, I mean, I get it though. I mean, but hey, assuming Tokyo Disney Sea doesn't get changed too much, which I don't see that happening. How
could they change it? There's a whole volcano there.
Yeah, it would be pretty difficult to do, and they have the Oriental Land Company there too, so would be pretty difficult to do that. Favorite flat ride at Disney that is not a coaster, dark ride, or transportation ride. Like I honestly, I don't. There's not honestly really much. Like I guess the Mater, like the sneaking
right?
tractor ride, whatever the heck.
Is
It's
there still
okay.
progress count? Because that's a beautiful attraction.
I don't know if that's a
We
ride. It's
break
not really a ride.
tomorrow. That's just a dream. That ride's actually a hidden gem of Disney. Or
Um,
a flat rides. I mean, I'd say my favorite like one of those rides probably would be like Astro Orbiter, like in Tomorrowland. That is a beautiful attraction.
that would be a good pick there. So I definitely would could see that. I haven't ridden Astro Orbiter in like 10 years though, so I can't really say much.
Mm.
Um, Another football question. Do you think the Vikings are going to make it to the playoffs this season? I'm going to say no.
Yeah. As much as I love Kirk Cousins, I mean I don't love him, but he's decent. He's decent. That
He
defense is just not good. And there's questions about the head coach, but they might surprise. I think they're not going to completely suck. I think they'll finish either second in the division because the Lions, well, they're the Lions, and the Bears.
I think the Lions are a sleeper. I don't think they'll make the playoffs, but I think they're going to be a lot better than people expect. The
And then
Bears
the
are going to be terrible, though.
Bears, well, they took a huge step back when they traded Khalil Mack. But I think even though the Packers, I think they took a step back too. I think they're still a class of the division. But they'll still, I think the Vikings will still beat the Packers once. I think they're going to split the series.
They'll probably I think they probably beat him week 1 because Aaron Rodgers has to get used to throwing to those new receivers
Mm.
and yeah, that's the matchup. It's Packers versus Vikings week 1 and I think the
We'll see
Vikings
Tom
could actually
Grassi get
win.
mad.
I would almost expect it if you're a Packers fan. I don't know. And
Hunter would
what
be mad.
I mean, they got destroyed by the Saints in week 1 last year, so you shouldn't be too scared.
Destroyed by
If they come out the gate looking bad, I wouldn't be too worried.
destroyed by Jameis Winston of all people. Which I
But
think Jameis Winston also gets way too much hate.
yeah, I think he's actually
He's,
as a quarterback, he's pretty solid, but we'll
yeah,
see
but
how
he's
he
also one of
does.
the funniest people like ever,
Oh yeah.
unintentionally too.
Yeah.
Like if you watch a meme compilation of Jameis Winston, it's honestly hilarious.
His his tandems
Yeah.
mispronunciation quote is hilarious.
Oh god.
And there's a bunch of other ones too that are just so funny. I have a friend who's a
I
Saints
tried to tell him
fan.
he said. What did he say? He just told us to be prepared. That's
Yeah, I
essentially
know. It's so funny, dude. But as for the Vikings, for me, I'll just, you know, their defense actually, it's so difficult because they have the talent to be good because they have Daniil Hunter and now Zadarius Smith as their like pass rushers, which are really good. Except they're like super injury prone is the problem, and so they're probably not going to be fully
Mhm.
healthy, and that's going to hold the defense back. And first year head coaches, it's always pretty difficult to have a truly successful first season. Usually there's a lot of bumps in the road, and you usually don't see first year head coaches like make it into the playoffs convincingly. Usually they like either don't or some will squeak in like Nick Sirianni and the Eagles, but
Yeah,
like
that was interesting. Or
that
like
was more luck. I don't actually
yeah,
think
the
that was a
Steelers.
reflection of the.
The Steelers.
I mean, yeah, but they didn't have a rookie head coach, so.
But
But
Steelers, they had huge luck. And sorry if Lucan's watching. The Steelers did not start to make playoffs that year.
not yeah, but it was
The
pretty funny
Colts were a
though.
way better team. They did not make the playoffs.
Yeah, and they got rid of why they didn't make the
The
playoffs.
Jaguars of all people.
Well, yeah, and Carson Wentz, but
Also, the Ravens were a better team than the Steelers that year, but the Ravens, they were just injured. This is why they finished last in the division.
Six Flags isn't going to advertise for any team. They're just not. I mean, they're
No. Nope. Okay, but the whole Steel Curtain thing, that was like Kennywood. They're a family owned park.
no. It is Palace. It is a Palace.
Huh?
It is a chain park, but it's not like super connected to the other ones. It's not like Six Flags where they're all called Six Flags. I really don't think they're gonna like partner for anything. I think it's even more likely you would see like a Cedar Fair park partner with someone like maybe Worlds of Fun does a partnership with the Chiefs because Worlds of Fun used to actually be owned by the Hunt family. They started the park, believe it or
Like
not.
St. Louis?
The no, Worlds of Fun. The Hunt family that owns the Chiefs started the park
Oh,
originally before they sold it to Cedar Fair.
I
But
wonder why they.
there's rumors they could get back involved, not like rebuy it, but get back involved with the park this season because it's their
Mm.
50th anniversary or next season. But yeah, so you have that. When are you going to Six Flags Magic Mountain or Knott's Berry
Mm.
Farm?
I want to really, really bad one of these days. I have driven by Knott's Berry Farm before when we went to Disneyland, but we didn't go.
Oh man, that's rough.
Although Accelerator looked pretty cool in Silver Bullet, like from afar. And then Six Flags Magic Mountain, I have no. We didn't even went close to Six Flags Magic Mountain.
Yeah, for those of you who don't have never been to California, yeah, even though like in SoCal, like Disneyland and Knott's are pretty close to each other, Universal and Magic Mountain are actually pretty far away from those parks. Like, and Universal and Magic Mountain are also like not. I mean, they're not super close together. So, it's not super easy to get to all of them if you're from outside of California. So, I know some people are able to, but that's sort of that. And SeaWorld San Diego is really far
Mm.
off the beaten path. So, yeah. Do we think the Bengals? No.
No, no, that's a sell. That is a sell.
It's just it's very it's very kind of like difficult for me to buy into the idea that they would make it all the way back. I think it's possible. I just don't know that it's going to happen, especially because I don't even know if they're going to be the best team in their division next year. I think they probably win, but it's hard to say because you have the Ravens. Uh, I'm going to say, and you never know with the Steelers. I don't think they're going to win the division, though. I'd be pretty stunned. And
Someone says the Steelers are going to win the division. Lucan is the only person that actually believe that.
there's maybe a weird way they could, but it's pretty
It's the
unlikely.
defense. Their offense is not going to do good.
I mean, it'll be like I said, it'll probably be better than last year. So
Mm-hmm.
even if it's like Mitch Trubisky in there or whatever. I mean,
The
I hope
MVP.
it's Pickett. I hope it's Pickett, but we'll
Well,
see.
then watches the yell, pick it, pick it, pick it. He throws a pick six.
Yeah, that's gonna be a chant. He's gonna get like clowned on for that. I didn't even think of that.
And anytime the Steelers get clowned on, it's beautiful. Especially if they get destroyed by the Browns in the playoffs.
Yeah. What about the Cowboys? They probably make the playoffs and don't really do much. I mean, yeah, that's probably
Uh,
what's gonna happen because when you have Mike
I,
McCarthy as your head coach, you can only do so much, and unless you have like one of the best quarterbacks in NFL history to carry
I'm
your
just checking to
team.
see if y'all still. Damn boys!
Yeah, so it's
Anytime NFL memes post that, I just laugh.
it's I mean, yeah, they're not going to probably be good.
I'll take it.
See, look, this is exactly what I mean. And this is not normal conditions. Well, I guess it could be depending on when you go. But traffic in LA is so bad that this actually can be a reality where it could take 4 hours from you to get to Magic Mountain Disneyland. It's more like one to
That's
2 hours
crazy.
usually. Actually, more on
Whoa,
the side of
really?
2 hours. Yeah, no, that's it. That's why I'm saying it's not super easy to just be like, all right, I'm gonna do Magic Mountain, Disneyland, Universal, Knott's all in one trip. It's really not that
That's
easy.
crazy. Because
And
Orlando, it's pretty easy to do all that.
yeah, it is, but yeah, I mean, you still have to go out of your way for Busch Gardens Tampa, but at least it's only one park. Um, so yeah,
Wait, no, that's not it. That's not it.
can't see it,
To all the Cowboys fans,
can't see it, but
it says
there it
just checking to
is.
see if y'all still dim boys.
Ah, all right, that makes sense.
Got like Tom Brady, Jackson Mahomes, Brittany. It's got Teddy Bridgewater.
Yes,
Because
Jackson
it did lose to the
Mahomes.
Broncos, like surprisingly lose to the Broncos.
6 minutes. I think we'll wrap up the stream in 6 minutes. So, any last
Mhm.
questions you have, we'll answer them, and that'll be that. And I guess we're getting any even more NFL stuff, but you can ask anything at this point. So,
Just nothing
uh,
too crazy, y'all, because I know some of y'all a little sus. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But still.
buy or sell. Tom Brady will win yet another Super Bowl within the next 5 years. Buy.
That's an easy buy.
Yeah, that's a yep.
I think that he's gonna win Super Bowl this year and then retire.
Yeah, something like that.
We all know Brady's gonna win another Super Bowl.
Do you think over Texas and Magic Mountain could stop their 365 days? Over Texas is 365 days a year?
Yeah,
Since
they are.
when? What?
They have been for a while.
Dear God, no wonder why their like one section apparently isn't like open a decent amount of the time. Um, I will say it's very. I could very much see that happening. At the very least, with over Texas, I would say it probably happens. Magic Mountain, I would say it's likely. Well, I think it's possible, maybe not likely. I think there's like a 50-50 chance they do it. But, I mean, just because they do have a sign saying 365 days a year, they made a big deal out of it like a few years ago. So it would be a little more difficult, but I think they definitely could do it. I certainly would not be happy though because I love going there on dead days. So, which is actually pretty easy to do if you're close enough to the park. At least like I am. Like I can go in February and be like, "Yay, no one's here." So, there you go. Universal is about 30 minutes from Magic Mountain. Yeah, in like good conditions. So not like super bad, but you know, if traffic's horrible, it's still not great. Um, I don't want to see that rematch to be honest.
These Super Bowls,
I
no,
don't want to see that
no,
rematch.
not Tampa versus Kansas City. I mean the current GOAT versus the future GOAT. I mean, as much as I love Patrick Mahomes and I think Tom Brady's a great player, that would be just like boring.
Yeah, I want to see something.
I mean, I'd rather have Tom Brady make Super Bowl than Aaron Rodgers. I will say because I do not like Aaron Rodgers as a person.
That's fair.
Brady as a person, I don't mind. I actually don't mind. I actually respect Tom Brady, but not really Aaron Rodgers.
A-Rod is pretty wacky these days, is what I will say. Dude,
And Tom Brady's not that way,
that
which is
new
weird.
I don't want to be mean because I don't want to be super mean, but the tattoo he got is like really weird. And I don't have like an issue of tattoos or anything, but that one was just like extremely strange. And I think a lot of people agreed. Like, I don't know what that thing was. It was so strange. It had
So also
like
the photo that
these
was posted of him today.
lions and
Also, I don't know if you saw that photo that was posted of Aaron Rodgers going to training camp, but
oh yeah, oh my God, I saw that. Yeah, that was
it's so bizarre.
he is really weird. He's always been weird. People who just woke up to him being weird, no, dude, this guy's been weird for
Yeah,
years.
hold on, wait for it, wait for it.
This guy's been like really weird for like a long time. He
That's
like
Aaron
showed
Rodgers.
up as like Nicolas Cage.
Mm.
So that's pretty funny. He's been weird for a long time, and I've known that. It's only
Mm.
gotten to people more recently.
And what he said about COVID too is awful.
Yeah,
We won't go too deep into that, but
he like basically lied to like the reporters and stuff.
so did Antonio Brown.
Not great. Okay, but it was AB. You know, it's his antics. It was like the most. I didn't believe the story at first because I thought it was too easy to make up for Antonio Brown. I'm like, oh, typical. I thought it was fake because it's like that seems like so easy of something to make up, and then it was real. It's like, oh, well, you know, it's AB. So,
That's right.
um, you know, he threw furniture and almost killed a kid once. So
I did remember
accidentally,
that.
he threw it out like a balcony and it almost hit a kid. So not great.
Mhm.
But anyways, did we think that Banshee was underrated? I will say it impressed me. It's my second favorite invert. I don't know if I can call it underrated because there are a decent amount of people who really like it, but there's also a lot of people who don't like it, if that makes sense. It's kind of a
Yeah.
polarizing coaster. So
Well, I
I'll
wrote
just
it
say I was
once,
impressed.
and I definitely agree with you 100%, Carrick. I think it's not underrated, but it's a fantastic coaster. And I will say it is my second favorite invert, only behind Montu at Busch Gardens.
Yeah, I mean, I can that is understandable. Montu looks really good,
Oh,
so
it's incredible.
I can't wait to check it out at some point here.
Especially
So
say back row in the left seat. It's amazing.
I hope to get that. I imagine it's a little difficult to get the left seat just because. Oh wait, which side do you enter on Montu? Is
Left.
it?
Wait. You go like you enter from the right, and you go like if you're the first person, it's left.
Oh, okay, that's very good because like on Raptor, I was told back left was great, and I like somehow lucked out, and I was just the only person in my row, so I got to choose because you enter
Mm-hmm.
from the back left is supposedly the best row on that ride, but the way you enter, you couldn't do it if you had like three people behind you. So
Yeah.
unless you tried to like be like I'm taking this seat, which is kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I lucked out there. So good to hear that that isn't an issue with Montu.
Mm-hmm.
Roughest coaster yet? This is for you. I've already answered this multiple
All right, that's
times.
a tough question, but there's a lot of coaches I've ridden that are just so brutal. Like Kurt ones and foreign ones, like the looping star over at Ocean City, Maryland, which is a pin fire looper.
Oh
Oh,
God.
it's so jerky and so rough. If you haven't seen a video of me riding it, it's just me in immense pain. And then also like these standard Vekoma SLCs, those are pretty terrible. Probably the worst coasters I've done. But also like former coasters, like Cheetah, Wild Adventures. I rode that and I thought it was so bumpy, but I enjoyed it for some reason because I do enjoy rough wind coasters. Mind Blower, Fun Spot Kissimmee, I think it's a fantastic ride, yet it's so brutal. And then also you've got Georgia Cyclone. I got to do the original. That was brutal, and yeah, it was not fun. So yeah,
Huh. Yeah, the Pinfari Looper. I've not done one of those. I honestly hope I never do. But I guess props to you for trying it. So that's something. All
need the
right.
credit.
These are going to be the last two questions. This other one, Minnesota Thrills question, came in on time. So we'll answer these two and head out. That'll be the plan.
Mm-hmm.
Buy or sell. Kennywood and Palace Entertainment's relationship will degrade even further due to the 2020 ride removals. Okay, so I think I understand what you're trying to get at. So supposedly there's some people within like sort of Kennywood management and stuff who have not been happy with how Palace has treated the park. That's like sort of word out on the street, and it's been a thing for a little while now. But like I I don't. I mean, I'm sure they're more mad about. They were pretty upset about that whole thing, and I'm sure that if it wasn't in the plans to bring back Kangaroo, I'm sure the management in there very much advocated for it. I do think that entire thing was planned out, though. I think called it back then. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like this is weird. I feel like it was gonna return or at least get relocated somewhere. I think the whole kangaroo thing was like kind of a hoax that it was closing for good. So they made a big spectacle of it. But I mean, I guess I can buy it, but I don't really think it's gonna do
Yeah,
anything. Like, I mean,
I'd say
it,
sell.
I mean, I can buy it, but it doesn't really mean anything. Like, okay, so like, it doesn't change much. They're still owned by Palace, and that's the end of it. So, um,
Because, some management's like,
yeah, but I don't really have much to say there. And then a controversial opinion. All right. We'll answer the last question from Imperial Coaster as well, but
Last but not least,
controversial opinion, Pepsi, Orange Streak, and Log Shoot at Nickelodeon Universe has Disney level theming. I have not ridden it, so I cannot say,
yeah.
but I've
But
heard good
also,
things
I
about
do
it.
think like some of these other parks, they do have amazing attempts at Disney level theming, like or Universal too, because Disney Universal are the kings of theming. Like SeaWorld, like especially Manta and Jerry Lance in Orlando, top tier theming. And then you look at like, what also Dollywood's got some amazing themed coasters. So I feel like, and Sea Fair with Backlot Stunt Coaster, that's a good attempt at like a Disney themed ride. Same with Fly Fear. So I feel like parks, they do a good job with like trying to be Disney in terms of theming, but so yeah, I'll have to look it up. I haven't even seen it, so
Yeah, I haven't ridden it, so I can't say, but it looks pretty. They look kind of cool, so that's
let me
something.
see real quick.
Do you hope that I mean, yeah, I'm sure you hope that the Ravens will beat the Patriots. If that's
Oh
on the
well, I will say
schedule.
I actually have them losing to the Patriots.
Yeah,
I think that's gonna be enough.
understandable. I think Belichick kind of has figured out
But
how to contain Lamar.
they know. Well, the thing is, Ravens and Patriots know how to beat each other.
Yeah,
So Log Shoot was well, it's called Log Shoot Nickelodeon Universe. Oh, it
all
actually
right.
does look like some pretty good.
We have a Christian Seidel in the chat. He asked some question. He asked a question, two questions, so we'll answer it
Oh
because he
yeah.
just entered.
Oh
So
yeah, Christian. Hey, what's up? Another really
favorite.
big fan of the channel.
That's cool. Favorite app. I don't really. I don't know. I don't really have one. Like I don't
Yeah,
really
I'm
play
with you.
mobile games much. Like I mean, kind of
I'm more
weird,
of a
but
Planko guy. Plan coaster.
that's not. I mean, I guess it's a PC game, but like for mobile, I will say I have. I used to play Angry Birds way back in the day. I was like a huge Angry Birds fan, and I did buy the new re-release they did a few months ago or whatever, and I have played that a little bit. So I guess that's my answer, which is really sad considering it's a game that released 14 years ago, not 14, 12 years
Mhm.
ago. But yeah. And then last question. Oh wait, sorry. Did you have something else?
You can go.
And then top coasters. I'll give my top three, and you can, I guess, as well. You can go first.
Okay, so number one, Iron Gwazi. Number two, Steel Vengeance. Number three, Velocicoaster. You know this, Christian. You're like one of my top fans. We love you, man. We love you, Christian.
My top three has gone has very much shifted. So, um, I'll go from 3 to 1. My number two is gonna be really surprising for some people, but it's under certain conditions. My number three is Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point. It is my number three. My number two is actually Beast Night Rides. Yes, that is right. But based off the Gravity Group retrack from this year, because I know, I don't know how it ran before,
It was
but
very old school. And it just
it was.
beat you up. Like, I don't know if the Final Helix does it, but isn't that Final Helix like
It doesn't beat you really. But
what?
it's a little shaky, I guess, but it's not
It's
like.
like that Final Helix when you're like turning in and then when you start going to that helix like through a tunnel, it's like super shaky like that. That's what makes it so good.
They completely retracked and reprofiled that section, so it's still intense. And at night, it's just for me, it's crazy. I really enjoy
It's
out
so
of.
fun.
Yeah, I know some people don't like it as much anymore. I wasn't able to experience it before, so I can't say much there. But the thing I value most in coasters were is out of control is if a coaster feels out of control, that's like the thing I like the most. That's why X2 ranks super high for me. It's at my number four, and it's why my
Oh, that's
number
gonna be number one.
and it's why my number one ranks as high for me as it does. And Beast at night has that feeling because there are many sections where you are like there's very little light or it's pitch black, and that is and you're going on a coaster like through the woods, like just literally through the woods at night. It just, for me, it doesn't get much better than that. But my number one is Voyage at Holiday World. I have not done it during Hollywood Nights. I'm almost certain it would be unbeatable if I did it at Hollywood Nights. But I mean, yeah, that Voyage is legit. I was pleasantly shocked by how good it was. Yeah, that's my number one. Legend is my number three at Holiday World. It's still really good. It's like right behind Raven for me. I enjoy both of them, and it is in my top 20 somewhere in there. I do have it ranked over Gold Striker though, so that's worth something. But anyways, that's gonna wrap up the stream for me. So I guess Zach, if you have any last things you want to say, you can say it now, and we'll wrap the stream up.
I just want to say thank you so much for having me here as a guest, Carrick. I've always been a fan of your live streams, like since I started watching. I think it was with like Christian, Hunter, Itai, or some of my friends, and then finally getting to be a guest on it just feels very honoring, and I'm very grateful for this opportunity. So I just want to thank you, man. It was great to be on your on Coaster Time.
Yeah, for sure, and I really appreciate bringing you on. It's been something that I know we've kind of talked about for a little while now, so it's good to finally get this to happen, and very happy to do so for that. And you were an awesome guest, so I really appreciate you making the time to do this, and it was a great stream.
If you ever want to have me on as Alan as a guest again, just let me know.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll make sure to let you know whenever I can get the opportunity to do that. But I think that would be really fun. So appreciate it. Alrighty. So for those of you watching, I do have something to say here. I am going on a trip to Atlanta, and almost immediately after I return from Atlanta, I go back to my second year at a community college here. So I likely will not be doing a coaster time stream for a good while here. That's why I did two pretty close together. If you haven't checked out the one with National Coasters as well, make sure to check that out. But I wanted to give a heads up. The next like content might be like the Worlds of Fun reaction stream. That's very well what it could be. So we'll see what happens there, but just wanted to give a heads up. And also wanted to mention that if you want a chance to come on and are interested in doing that, make sure to fill out the self-request form in a description or also in the pinned comment after the stream is over. So make sure to do that if you are interested. And with all that being said, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time here on Coaster Hour. See you guys.